Hello. All right. Hello, everyone. Letting people in. As I let people in, go ahead and give me a little hello on the chat. Hi there. That's what I just wrote in my chat. Go ahead and go to the chat and give me a little show of life. Life concept. All right. Here we go. Okay. Keep letting everyone in. Here we go. Ow.
Hi, Diana.
All right, here we go. Let me see. Hold on one sec. I'm letting people in, and there we go. All right, so hi.
Hello.
Who just called me?
Uniana.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
So, do you remember how to change your name on your Zoom? Right now it says Zoom user.
How do I type? Oh, I know.
Molly,
Chat.
you're just fine, Molly. I'm gonna mute you.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with this
Oh, with a
on the
chat.
phone. Yeah,
Don't worry,
on the
it's
chat.
only today. You don't need to write in the chat. Just figure out how to do a yes and a no. Okay, Molly?
Okay. All right, I'll do my best.
But yeah, Zoom user right now, sorry, not Zoom user. Your name when he is showing up as Zoom user. So put your mouse or your finger over your face, and when you do that, you'll see three little dots appear, and you click on that, and then you can go down to rename. There we go. Let me see who else. Harry, your last name appears weird, so I'm gonna go ahead and correct your last name. And everyone else, hi everyone. Nice to see you. Let me see. Mary Ellen is here, and Harry, Anna, Molly, Tanya, Mason, Yolanda, and Alan. And here comes Mary that I'm letting her in. Yeah, looks like you have a question, Unyi.
Yes, I want, no, with the iPhone, it's easy the screen said, the blur the background of my picture, my screen, but this iPad is so old one, and then I don't know how to
On the
make that.
iPad.
Yeah, it's old one.
Yeah, you can probably change that in the settings. And in fact, I was just teaching people how to do that
Setting.
in my intro to the Mac class. Um, Let me see if I have some time, maybe during break or something, because it's not a photos app question. It's more like a settings of your app question. So give me a little bit
Yeah,
and I can help you. If you know how to find
okay.
iPad settings, I can help you with that later. All
Yeah,
right. So yeah, thanks for asking that. And then guys, sorry, today's reminder email went out and I made a mistake. I sent you one that I copied from the spring session that said that the class was twice a week and 1 p.m. So hopefully no one has been hanging out since 1 p.m. waiting. The class is at 1:30 and it's once a week on Tuesdays. And I sent out a correction because Alan pointed it out to me. So thank you, Alan. But I was in class all morning teaching, so I didn't check emails until in between the two classes. I have a half an hour, and then I checked and I went, "Oh no!" So then I sent the correction. But yeah, so don't show up on Tuesday. This is only don't show up on Thursday. I mean, this is only the Tuesday class. That was just a typo. Not a typo. I copied the email, pasted it, put in the new people, and forgot to change the schedule. So that was and yeah, a mistake. So thank you so much for pointing that out, Alan. I can always count on some eagle-eyed student to let me know when things aren't correct in my emails, and I do appreciate that. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't read it again. I send it and off it goes. And so, all right. So, let me see. In the email that I send you, even though the dates were incorrect, at the bottom of that email, I began to add, as of last session, a little link to the class handouts. And the class handouts, let me see. Hold on. Let me let people in. There we go. So let me share, even though it's incorrect, let me share my screen to show you my email. So here we go. So here I have the email, and then here I have this link. This link is going to a video of me explaining how to get to the class handouts. A lot of the times people in between classes would not remember how to get to the class handouts. Now, I won't send this email again until the beginning of next Tuesday, but during the week, if you need to get to the class handouts, just go to this last email or to the welcome email where I've also, no, in the welcome email, I haven't put it. The day after the first class, I sent a link with this link, right? But say you forgot that, then every week when I send this email, it'll have that little byline down there. Hi, Thomas. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And then I did want to talk about this. There's a few new students or people who, for me, are new that haven't been to any of my classes before. And I just wanted to remind you what this means. And I just in a few sentences. If you can't make it to class at all, right? You're traveling, you're on the airplane, or you are in the car, then if you're on the airplane, you have no option, right? But if you're traveling, you're in Italy or you're in the car and someone else is driving, do your best somewhere in between, right? 1:30 and 4 to click on the Zoom link, even from your phone. You'll enter the Zoom as long as I can make sure we know who it is. Sometimes people enter as Zoom user and then they leave as Zoom user and I don't know who it was, right? But if you have your name set up so it comes in, then that counts as attendance as long as then you do what's expected, which is that you watch the class recording before next week. Then I can give you attendance. Now, why is this important is because this class is only working and it's working for free because the state subsidizes pays the city college per student who attends class, not for student who's registered. So I have 25 students in class and 5 don't show up, we only get paid for 20. If 10 don't show up, we only get paid for 15, et cetera, et cetera. So showing up is showing up in the Zoom because the Zoom records who is here, and then I have to turn those sheets in as attendance. Does that make sense? So please try to sign in at some point. And sometimes you can't, you're in the hospital, whatever. But sometimes you can look at the schedule and just click on the link, appear as someone. And if you can stay for half an hour, if you can stay for 2 of the 3 hours, of course I want you to stay. But if you can't stay, then at the very least, try to hang in there for a little bit until we make sure that who you are shows up with your name, and then watch the class recording. Okay. And then to watch the class recording, you have this video to remind you how to get into the class recordings. Once you get to the class recordings, it's going to look like this, and it will have the link to the recording of last week and a little summary of what we did. Okay. So are there any questions about that? How to get here, how to not get here, how to do this? No. So for example, Molly, her house is out of power. You know how I said in Rocky the other day, I had a lot of people just suddenly dropped out of the class all at the same time. I guess you all live in San Roque. It was not this class, it was a math class where suddenly everyone just disappeared. Last Thursday, not everyone, 4 people. So yeah, things happen, but she had power on her phone. So she's here. And since this class does include a lot of work that we do on the phone, that's fine. But and do your best if you can to hang in there until you run out of power. It might not last too long enough for the whole class, Molly. We'll see. Also,
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
completely out of power because if you stay without power, I want to make sure your phone still works in case you need to, use.
Sure, I'll go to the recording.
Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Yes, Barbara?
So if you can't make it and you can just jump in for a minute or two, you want us not just to be there for a minute or two, you want us to go to the chat and say something.
If you can put in the chat, hi, I'm here, that helps because then I can read those reports. But the Zoom itself checks in on who comes in. And if you came in as Barbara Urbonas, I'll see that Barbara Urbonas was here. But if you come in as Zoom user,
Yeah.
some people, then I'll see that Zoom users are here and I wouldn't know who it was. So my comment is make sure that your name says who you are before you leave. And if you have the opportunity to sign in, you're at home. Friends arrived and they're staying for you for the whole weekend and you can just run out and sign in, then you can use the chat. But if you're just on your phone and you don't know how to use the chat, A, look around for it. B, if you find it, say you're here. But if you can't say you're here, at the very least, make sure that your name appears in the Zoom and then that will work. I can then refer to the Zoom records to see if you were here, if not in the chat. Does that make sense? The chat is easier if I see it there, but the most important one is the room records. If you write in the chat and it says, hi, I'm here, and you're still appearing as Zoom user, it'll say that Zoom user said, hi, I'm here, not Barbara Urbonas or whoever you guys are, right? So it doesn't help me in the chat to see the hi, I'm here if your name still shows up as Zoom user, okay? Or phone user or something like that, which is the generic one. So thanks for that clarifying question. So anyway,
I
this,
have a question.
what's that?
I have a question.
Okay,
Question.
and that's fine to have a question and just to speak up, but remember you guys, only as people who are new to my class, I want to remind you that if you raise your digital hand, you would stand top left and then I would see that you have a question. But yeah, what's that?
Oh,
Mhm.
how can I sign in? I never did do that.
Well, you just did it. You changed your name, so that's the first step. The sign in
Uh-huh.
is just in the chat. Go to the
Chat?
chat,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say again, hi there. And that place where you saw on your screen, somebody say hi there. That was the chat. And you can go there where it says type message here, and you can type your own little good.
Chat message. Okay.
Okay,
But the other last week I didn't do that. So
that's
it's
okay.
all right. Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm teaching
Oh,
people about it. As I said, it's that's important for me, but when you're not here, I can go to the Zoom records that are automatic. I'd prefer not to go to two places, but that's all right. No problem.
thank you.
Okay. So Diane?
Yes, I have a question about last week.
Mhm.
We had the option to move everything in the iCloud. Mine's already set up so it does that. Then the other option was to set your photos in a different mode instead of the full Zoom size or whatever, digital size. What is the advantage of that? Because I look at my photos on my phone, not in iCloud.
Okay. So we're gonna keep talking about that right now. I'm not sure what you meant by Zoom mode, so can you repeat that part of your question? We're gonna keep talking about the iCloud, so you'll know more about the differences and why, but you said something about large size and Zoom mode. Okay, what?
Okay, well, you said there was an option to change your photos into a smaller.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. When you said Zoom photos, I thought of like
Oh, I'm
scene,
sorry.
big or small. No, 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 no. I mean, I got where your question is coming from. I just mentioned that if your phone or your computer are running out of space, when you check a certain box, then the full-sized file stays in the cloud and your computer or your phone depending, if they're not running out of space, that's fine. But if they are running out of space, the phone or the computer, they know. And what they do is that the full size file is always on the cloud, no matter what. It's always there, as long as you're using the cloud. And then on the place that's the device that's running out of space, you keep a smaller version, which is perfectly fine for small prints, for emailing, for sharing, for just about everything people do with their phones. It wouldn't work if you're trying to make a 16 by 20 print out of it. If you want a 16 by 20 print, where, then you'd have to go get the one that's the big one that's online. So depends on your needs for it. You might need to download again the one that's the big sized one, but it's not there to not occupy useless space on your computer or your phone, whichever one is running out of space, or your iPad, whichever one is running out of space. So that's the only benefit to it. And it only happens when there's no space. So if you have a phone that has a lot of space, computer has a lot of space, iPad has a lot of space, you got the full size everywhere. It's when they're running out of space that they start kind of doing it to the older photos.s, and trying to maximize your space on your device. All right.
Okay. I guess I'll change it back then because I have plenty of memory.
Okay, careful. Don't just,
Uh-oh.
this is not a setting you want to change back and forth. I said before, do not change this one back and forth. If you already did, let's make sure, because if you had it on the cloud and you said, okay,
No, we're on the cloud. It was the second part that you
this-
mentioned about changing the size of the
yeah,
photo.
the size. So there's two things that I'm talking about. One is having your photos in the cloud or not, and one is having that check on
Right.
about having, so the check, yeah, go ahead and check it again to maximize space or whatever it's called. I think it's maximize storage space, is the way that check is called. Go ahead and check it on again because yeah, it's useful,
Okay.
not run out of space. But what I was saying, don't put things on or off the cloud. And I thought for a second you meant that, but that's not what you were saying. So anyway,
Right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome. So now back to um the whole group. I want to show you again. See, like right now I have something saying iPhone entered the room. Did someone just connect with the iPhone as their second account, or did someone just join us that just popped in? Okay, whoever's on the iPhone is muted right now. Who are you? You're
Uni
muted.
Anna. Yeah, Anna. Uni Anna.
No, Anna, you're fine. Someone who just joined us and their name says iPhone. Can you tell me, can you unmute yourself, iPhone? See, I don't know who the person is, so they don't know. Person who just joined us on their iPhone, you're muted. So you're saying things and I can't hear you. So I don't know who you are until you unmute yourself. If you touch the photo of yourself on the phone, I think on the top right, a choice for mute or unmute pops up, or maybe at the bottom. I'm trying to remember. I think at the bottom, it allows you.
There, I think I got it, Diana.
There you go. And can you remind me who you are?
It's Marilyn Candace.
Thank you. And
So
I'm
sorry.
to rename you on the phone. I don't know how to tell you to rename yourself. So I am going to rename you myself.
Okay.
Marilyn Candace.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying, I don't have the roster on me, so I,
It's okay. K-A-N-D-U-S.
okay, and Candace, I wrote it to you as if it were a first name.
It's
There.
okay. It's
No,
okay.
no, it's not.
Oh.
Actually, trust me, it's not for me, because then the Zoom doesn't register you as a student who's registered in the class if it says Candace
Oh,
versus Candace. And so I can't give you attendance. So I do need your last name. The first name, if you want to be called Mar, whatever you want to be called, that's fine. But the last name has to match your roster. All right, perfect. Thank you.
sorry.
Yeah. So, and I know that I was mentioning people who are out of power right now. Thank you, those of you who aren't home and are still connecting whichever way they can. And I have a helicopter. It's been running up and down over my head. I'm gonna close my door. See if I can, it was bugging me. I'm like speaking louder and louder because this helicopter must be searching for something. Okay. All right, so let me share my screen again and the reason I want to do this is to show you the mail. Oh, by the way, someone just reminded me today, sign up started for the fall classes. So I haven't sent an email out with what my fall classes are, but just so you know, you can start signing up today. So if you have any questions about CRNs or stuff like that, let me know. But I was showing you the email that sends you to how to get to the class handouts. Once you know how to get to the class handouts, here is the email that shows you the recording and the AI summary. Now I'm going to click on the AI summary. We're meeting only once a week. What that means is that you might have completely forgotten what we talked about a week ago, or you might have remembered a bit, but not all of it. So if you ever want to know what we talked about, what to do, what did she say was the homework, then it'll be here. This is a quick recap, and then it talks about next steps. And this next steps, the AI is pretty good at picking up whatever I said that you guys had to do for next class. So I added the link, but AI remembered that I said, click here to, fill out the class survey. So I added the link to it. And then here's how to access the class handouts, which is when I emailed you. But it also talked to you to make sure to look at your iCloud settings and the optimized device storage settings, which are the ones that you were just talking about, that you were asking about, Marilyn. And then prepare questions about iCloud storage and photo management. So we're not talking yet about the app itself, but if you had questions about things, since you have a whole week, my request that you be, as you try to do things that work or don't work, that you write them down. So two of you guys already asked questions this morning, and that's exactly what I want. Yeah, this morning. Oh, sorry, at the beginning of class this morning. And that's exactly right. So if you have any other things that you've been thinking about, let me know. And then remember that you can check in with tech support for Zoom audio and video issues, which we had some issues last week, and hopefully they've been handled. And if not, let me know. So anyway, right now that's basically what we did. We did a whole bunch of talking about the cloud storage choices and settings. So today we're going to jump into actually looking at all those photos and all our devices and seeing what we can do or not do. But I believe that we went to iCloud.com. Did we go in with this class to iCloud.com? No, we did that with Mac, but with the Intro to the Mac, the morning class. Okay, so we're going to go and see what's online. What we did look is at your phones versus your computers and checked, and some of you found that you had the same stuff. If so, give me a yes. That means that your stuff is on the cloud. And some of you found that you didn't and that your stuff is not on the cloud. If so, give me a no. So I need to see everyone with yes or no if you remember if your stuff was on the cloud or not. Okay? And we did that. I'm going to change so we went to the Photos app. I'm going to change my share. Here we go. We opened the Photos app on the computer and we were selecting library and all photos. And when you had these two selected, then it told you a certain number. 1207 and plus a 72, which would be 1073. And then we checked our phone and I'm going to, I've discovered a way to show both screens at the same time, which is pretty cool. So let me see if I can get this. I just did that a bit earlier. Because up until now, I've only been able to, oh, I can't change app, can I? There. So let me share my screen with you guys. This is very cool. I have never been able to share both my phone and my computer at the same time, but I found a workaround that is very new. So this is my first time ever showing this. And I did it this morning, and here's my phone. So here's my computer photos app, and here's my iPhone. And let me hide the handouts. We don't need the handouts right now. So let me actually hide the handouts for a second. I'm just going to quit the handouts. Okay. So now you're seeing basically this is my phone and this is my computer. And you can see both at the same time, which is pretty cool. And over here, you can see, and let me go to a place that has something darker. Here, that's a darker image, and you can see that it says 1,273 items, which is equivalent to 1,272. And I'm just going to circle that and that. If that's your setting, if you look at those things and it looks like that, then you definitely have your stuff on the cloud, because the moment you take a picture, it lands in the cloud, and then from the cloud, it lands in your computer or in your iPad. Similarly, if I were to upload photos into my computer, they would then go to the cloud and then appear on your phone. If this is your system, I want to yes. If this is not your system, I want to no. Now, a couple of you guys had only a few numbers difference, and it had to do with some videos or some imported things, and I don't remember who those were. If you remember who that was, give me a raised hand. Okay. All right. Like, remember, Anna, if you're raising your hand, if I don't know if this is you raising your hand or if it's you holding up. So then, do you remember where you say yes or no? Do you remember how to also do a raised hand? Give me a digital raised hand. And we were going to explore a little bit more what that could be. All right. So now I need everyone to answer. I have, let me see, Marilyn, if you know the answer, and Kate. And Alan, I thought you were here with two computers. I see you with only one right now. And I think you said you had guests and you would be kind of in and out. I believe that was your email to me. Maybe not. Okay. And so Marilyn and Kate would be the only ones who haven't answered. Okay. So Tanya and Unhi have a different set of numbers. And then, oh, let me see. Kate is writing. I purposely have my photos on my iPhone, not on the cloud. It says Kate. So then you're a no. Give me a red X. Okay. And then Tanya, mine has some videos on my computer before getting my phone. Not sure why, but that is an issue for me. Okay. But other than that, you find both of your phones. But that's interesting. Anyway, we can still figure out why they're on one and not the other. But I think, oh, no, I do know. I do know. I'm sorry. Photos do the sync automatic. Videos don't. When you put them in the computer, they don't automatically go to your phone. I do remember that. So you mentioned this last time, and at that point, I didn't figure, oh God, I closed the door and now I'm hot. And the helicopter has gone, so let me open the door again. There we go. Okay, so yeah, videos, you have to sync yourself if you want them. Photos, do it automatically. And I'm just talking about if you put them on the computer and you send them to the phone versus if you connect them yourself. There used to be a setting, which is gone now, that was an in-between setting. So for many years, you could choose to have them on the cloud completely, which is everyone who said yes. You could choose to not have them at all, and whatever's on your phone is on your phone, and you never transfer them to your computer, which is plan B. Or you had plan C, which was a good in between, where the last, I don't remember, it was 100 or 1,000 photos would transfer themselves automatically, but not the videos. And so you had to do the videos by hand. So maybe that's a leftover from when the videos didn't come over. That doesn't exist anymore. Now either they're on or they're off. If they're off, Barbara, Thomas, Mary, Kate, and Mason, who said that theirs are not, then you guys have to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mentioned you all. Then you have to connect your phone to your computer and transfer photos whenever you're ready to do so. Everyone who said yes, Harry, Mary Ellen, Tanya, Molly, Diane, I believe Alan, I'm not sure, Yolanda, I know she's a yes, then stuff just appears automatically. So on in here, Anna, I don't know, both are in. What's your question?
Oh, my video, I don't know, iPad video is a 54. but my photos video is 283. And then if I oh, how can, what is I know what it is, but
Your video, not your phone.
yeah, photos video is 283,
Okay,
but
so
the
go down
iPad is
here.
54.
So,
Yeah, it is.
okay, so
So
I haven't yet shown how to see only videos, but if, for example, you're doing this and here it says 72, then if you go to media types here on the computer and she only has an iPad, but you could click on here and see only videos, and then here it says 72 for me. So watch for everyone what I did. I went here to media types on the computer. For those of you, I know that you don't have a computer, Uni, but everyone else, I went to media types, I opened this little triangle, and then I click on videos, and then it shows me videos. And on the phone, I scroll to media types, and then it's videos. So that's 72 and
yeah.
that's 72. Just showing you how to follow, but people can follow along with your question. I'm showing them how to do this. Okay, so you have a different set of videos on your phone than on your iPad. Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Your phone and
I lost it. Could you tell me again?
Your phone and your iPad have a different number of videos.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a bit different. Yeah.
Okay. So if there's any change, it's usually in videos. We're going to go see what's up with the cloud and see if there's something there that we can do to see what's on the cloud. To see if it's which of the two numbers is on the cloud, and then we'll see if it's videos that you maybe downloaded from someone sending them to you, or and they're not part of your iCloud. No, we're gonna investigate a little bit that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right. So your photos though, it's the same number?
Not really, but photos. No. My iPhone live photo is a 2,357, but iPad is 1,495.
The live photos you mean? But I don't want the lives. I want all the photos.
Live photo is an
But I don't-
iPhone.
Okay.
iPhone.
I'm showing you, I don't want to see live photos, which is again
Oh,
thing. I want to see all photos, which is not there. So what you need to do is you need to go to the very top to all the photos and see what number is there. So say that you are seeing years, months, and all, you need to click on this X to disappear that, and then you'll see it there. That's the number I want.
Oh,
All of your items, photos and videos connected, not a particular media type, which is live photos is a particular media type and videos is a particular media type. And I want to see all of them put together, selfies and this and that. And that's what that number is. Okay.
you know what? When I with the iPhone, the scroll up and then there's no number, but the same like yeah, down there just or total life or
When I'm,
portrait something. Yeah.
let me clear the drawing. So when I'm in a photo and I begin to go down here where you were, that you were reading,
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how
like
the
album
number
something.
disappeared under the photos? So you need to go up until you
Yeah.
see it. And then, so you need to move up
Photos.
to
Oh,
see
wait a second.
the
Let
photos.
me check.
And then if you have an X here, click that out and then that's where you'll see it. Is anyone else? Okay. I see another mention. Barbara, my phone has 15,000 items and my laptop has 14,700 and 644 videos. But if you add those up, it's not the same. I don't have that kind of brain. Doesn't that add up to about 15,000 or not? Maybe I'll put it on a calculator. 15,062 plus, no, minus, plus minus
Where's the library?
644. That's 14,400. Yeah, so you're off by 150 or something like that numbers. I don't know why it is, so we'll go find out what's up in the cloud now, and then we'll find out. No, edited pictures would still count. And that seems to be the only other comments on the chat. I'm answering to comments that have been put on the chat. Okay, so we're gonna go find out. How do we find out what's happening and what's on the cloud for us to be completely sure what's happening? And then we're gonna start working with each one of these devices. Well, the first thing is I'm going to bring up again and share my internet. So open any kind of browser. I prefer Safari because we're on a Mac and we're learning about Safari, but we're learning about Mac things, but you're welcome to use any browser that you normally use. And then do a search and enter iCloud.com.
Mm.
iCloud.com and click in that. And otherwise, I'm going to put it in the chat. So even people who are on their phone can click in the chat that I just wrote, iCloud.com, and it can go to a browser on your phone so that you can end up in the iCloud. I'm going to do a screenshot of you guys if you are yeses or nos. And then I'm going to clear your answers because now I want to know, are you all at iCloud.com? And if you're here, please sign in.
Mm.
And when you sign in, it'll ask you, is this your Apple account? If so, put in your computer password if you're on a computer. If you are on the phone, it'll ask you for your phone password before it lets you in. Now, this is why it's important not to give your computer password or your phone willy-nilly to anyone to know their password, because they can get into your cloud where you might have stuff you want everyone seeing. And here I am. I'm in my iCloud.
So do I put the continue on iCloud.com?
Yes, iCloud.com, and then sign in.
Sign in, and then next screen is a quick access and customize. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't need to customize. Go with whatever
Okay.
right
Okay.
now. Customize on your own at some other point. Right now, just go with continue with the settings and give me a yes if you've gotten to the iCloud. Give me a yes. If you're seeing your iCloud, and what the iCloud is will look something like this. I don't know on the phone. Let me see.
Yes. Yeah.
Never gone to the iCloud on on a phone app, but I assume it's the same thing, but in tiny. I guess I could try and open Safari and go to the iCloud. I've never done that, but I don't know. Give this a try. iCloud.com. Sign in. And sign in with passcode. I have to, because I'm not on my iPhone, I need to say I can't do this portion on my phone because I'm doing it on the computer, not on my phone. So I need to, there. So now I need to connect again. I need to lock my phone for this to work again. Did it let me in? Okay, so did it let me in? In Safari to iCloud.com. Since I've never done it, it wants to know. And yeah, the passkey is probably not, this isn't going to work doing it like this. I need to do it in person, but well, maybe it will work. Yeah, it's letting me in. So if you're doing it on your phone, here you go. Now on my phone, I'm in the iCloud.com. And here it is. This is what it would look like on my phone. Okay. Now this is the first time I'm sharing phone and computer at the same time. So if it's at all confusing or anything, please let me know. Up in the past when I've tried to show how things work, so I have to always show one or the other. So I'm going to give it a try to keep it connected and do it this way. But basically, other than the fact that it shows it a little bit one on top of the other instead of here, it's showing you the same stuff. Okay, give me a yes if you're in the iCloud. I only see 3 yeses, so a while ago I asked, give me a yes if you're in the iCloud. If you're not, give me a no. Like if you can't get in or something's wrong, give me a no. But it's always yes or no. It's never nothing, or I have to call each one of you one by one and see how I can help you. So if you can't get in there and it's a no, then I'll help you. But if you don't give me an answer, I still have to help you. Okay. So let me see. Anna, on your iPad or on your phone, have you been able to go to iCloud.com?
You mean oh, I using iPhone.
I know. So did you go to iCloud.com?
Yeah, but I just yeah, lost again. Yeah.
Go ahead and either on your iPad or your phone, go to Safari, or if you use the browser and type iCloud.com, and you need to get in here. Now, why am I having you guys do this? This is what's on the cloud, guys. And this photos here is a couple of numbers off for me. On my computer, it says that I have 1,200 photos and 72 videos. When I go to the cloud, it says I have 1199 and 72 videos. So there's like 3 photos that aren't in the cloud that are on my phone and on my computer. Does that make sense? So I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes one is or isn't. So I'm going to click on photos in my iCloud. Okay. And I'm going to click on photos in my phone. I'm going to go over here, and yeah, there's a little discrepancy with what I have on my computer to what I have here. And it could be that it's little icons or things that are like PNGs, like a different file name or something that I have that is in one and isn't in the other. So here we go. I am now seeing what the cloud has. So if what you have on the cloud coincides, so it's pretty much, other than some numbers, coincides with what's on your phone or what's on your computer, then yeah, your stuff is being transferred. And the last thing that I want you guys to do is to grab your phone. And to grab my phone, I'm going to have to turn this feature off, open it up, and take a picture. So I'm going to take a picture right now. And I'm using my camera on my phone. And I'm going to take a picture of my keyboard right now. I just took a picture of my keyboard on my phone. And depending on how much, the speed of my computer and a bunch of other stuff, my speed of my Zoom, but I'm holding a Zoom conversation right now, or class with a bunch of people. But in a little bit of time, that photo should appear both on my phone. Well, it's on my phone because I just took it there. But in a little bit, it's going to appear in my cloud and then in my computer. And again, since I'm doing this whole thing, zooming and showing you 3 things, it might take a bit longer than usual. But I want everyone to take a photo right now of, as I said, your keyboard, your plants, whatever, just there. It's not a photo that matters. And we'll see slowly as it starts appearing, we're going to see what it takes. So I'm going to clear your feedback. And I'm going to wait for you guys to tell me when you can see it appearing in your Photos app. Okay? Both on your phone, on your iPad, and on your iCloud, like the things that did not take the photo. Does that make sense? I'm going to stop my share for a minute so that I can let my computer hopefully process a little bit faster. So Barbara, is that a yes because it already appeared? All right, cool. So give me a yes when for you, it appears in your next device, whichever that device might be. Okay. And as I said, there it is. Now for Kate. Okay. Yes, Maysan?
I don't use iCloud, so
Okay. Yeah. For
then
those
I
who don't
cannot.
use
I,
it,
I had to skip this, right?
well, yeah, if you don't use it, there's a few of you guys for whom it's not. By the way, mine just came in. So I'm going to share my screen and let me actually now turn off my phone so that I can share my phone, but mine just came in. So here it is in my cloud. All it took that I needed to stop doing the Zoom. And then here it is in my computer. There's my keyboard. And here was, it was in my phone originally when I took it on my phone. Okay. So that's the process of what it takes for a photo to get from the device that you're shooting it to the cloud and then to your phone app. All right. Which is back here. And here it is. So as that keeps happening, please give me yeses. Now, for those of you who don't do that process, there's nothing right or wrong. I'm just showing one system, which is it appears everywhere. By the same token, and everyone go ahead and take 2 or 3 more of the same thing. And I guess I can't really, because I would have to stop this share, but I want to make sure that you have something else that you're willing to throw away or get rid of. Because by the same token now, let's go to a different device. Let's go to, if I took the picture on the phone, maybe now what I should do is I should go to my computer and delete it from my computer, for example. So here's my computer, and I'm going to go to this keyboard picture. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to do a right click, and I'm going to say delete photo. Or I could just select it and I can hit the delete key. So right click, delete one photo, or you guys can delete it from your phone, or you can delete it from the cloud. Yep, you can. You go over to the cloud. This is the iCloud.com. I go to these 3 little dots and that are above the photo and I say delete. So no matter where I delete it from, I'm about to delete it now. I'm going to say delete from the cloud. I'm deleting it from the cloud. And it says delete one item from all your devices. And it's going to ask me from all. So let me go over here and I'm going to do it from here. And I say delete one photo. Again, delete it from all your devices. This will delete it from iCloud Photos. It will be in recently deleted for 30 days. So I'm going to say, okay, delete. So it's from my computer. And there it disappeared already from the cloud. And boom, it just disappeared from my phone. That's how quick it was. Now it's not gone forever. It's in my recently deleted folder for 30 days, but it's deleted from all died devices. For all of you who within this system say, well, I want to make space in my phone. Let me delete some pictures to make space on my phone. No, you have deleted the existence of that picture from absolutely everywhere. Does that make sense? Now, for those of you who don't have this set up, Mason and Thomas and Mary, I don't have the screenshot right now in front of me. The ones who don't have that set up, then the photo that you took on your phone was on your phone. It wasn't in the cloud and it wasn't in your computer. And if you deleted it, you just deleted it from your phone. And that's fine. Now, and this is important, had you transferred it by cable to your computer, if you deleted it from your phone, it's still on your computer. Does that make sense for everyone now? Now, if you didn't transfer it to your computer, say that you're traveling, you're hiking, you take some great photos of the sunset, but you're not connected to the internet, and this is important, and you delete it, it never made it to the cloud, it never made it to your computer. If you delete it, it's gone. Like you need to have a connection to the internet. Does that make sense? Say there was no data, just things weren't, at the best, then it won't, you'll have lost them. So say that you're hiking a 3-day trail and you've taken amazing pictures and then your phone dies. Well, you've been out of service all that time, which in the summer when I go camping in the Sierras, I'm out of service all the time. Those photos are gone because they're gone. Just like if you crash your camera and then your photos are gone. But in this case, all you did was not connect to the internet, and thus the photos that were saved in your phone are gone. So I would recommend having, well, when you're on the move, it's a little bit harder, but you can you from the phone do a transfer? I need to figure out if you can do a transfer of your photos from your phone to the cloud. No, unless you have like your other device with you, you can't really do it. Anyway, there's some other workarounds, but you still need service. All right. Yes, Eunhee?
If I move my photos from iPhone to the my iCloud, no, drive, my drive, yeah, triangle drive, and then what's going on?
So when you say your iCloud Drive, if you move them, how would you move them? I mean, this is automatic. This, if you have the feature turned on in your settings, it's automatic. I'm not clear yet if yours is doing that or not. I need you to see what's on your cloud. Did you go to iCloud.com?
Yeah,
And when you go to iCloud.com, do you
yeah,
see the
right.
same photos that are on your phone or on your iPad, or what do you see there?
My question is the photo from my phone to the my drive. Yeah, my drive, Google Drive.
Okay, so you're using a third system. You're going to another company. Nothing necessarily wrong. I'm not trying to say that Google Drive isn't useful, but that's like you're involving, instead of leaving it all automatic in the Apple system, you're going to your phone and you're uploading them to a Google Drive. So you're paying
Oh,
for iCloud and you're paying for Google Drive. So it's two payments.
oh,
You're welcome. I'm not saying you can't do that, but you're
mm,
involving another payment unless you're not paying Google iCloud.com and you're only paying Google Drive, and then you always have to transfer things kind of like that, to your Google Drive. You still need service. So if that's what you're doing, your stuff is going to Google Drive.
no, I thought if I move to the photo to the drive, and then I have a more space in my iCloud photo in my iPhone.
Okay, so here's the way I understand what you're asking.
Okay.
It is possible
Mm.
before you delete it. So say I took 55 camera raw pictures that are huge and I don't want them on my phone anymore. If I delete them from my phone, they'll delete from everywhere. So what I can do is I can then, yes, copy them by cable to an external hard drive, or you could put them up on Google Drive, which is a different company. Then you can go back to your phone and delete them from your phone, and
Yeah, yes.
basically created an existence of those photos somewhere else. Of
Mhm.
course. Yeah. You
It's
can,
okay?
yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Said,
Yes.
if you have a computer, you just have a hard drive, you're putting it in, it's cheaper. But if you're now paying,
Mm,
you only have a phone or an iPad,
yeah.
now you're paying the iCloud and the Google Drive
Mhm.
to have two separate things. And I'm not sure that that's money well spent, because Google Drive after 15 gigabytes begins to charge you as well. I'm not sure right now what the rates are.
Yeah.
But you might as well add up more on one or the other. I mean, of course, I prefer the cloud, but you're welcome to add more money on Google Drive and constantly transfer your photos to Google Drive. And that way your phone and iPad are empty. But if you have a phone and an iPad, it's almost like just use the cloud, but it's easier. But I don't know. You can always still copy photos from there and put them outside of the cloud system somewhere else and then delete them. Yes, that's possible.
Okay, thank you.
But that's only
Understand.
if your devices are running out of space. Are your devices running out of space that you need to?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Which
Yes,
one?
a long time. And then last week after class, I buy 50 gigabyte. Yeah, I just bought it. Yeah. So
50 gigabytes is $1 a month.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Usually I using it, but some point I don't know. I disconnected that one program, and they always said your many stuff is gone, but not very important. So I don't care. But after class, and then I buy again.
okay. So
Yeah,
yes, you used to have it and then it stopped. And yeah, when you stop, suddenly where's your stuff? And I can
yeah.
tell you where that stuff is because it doesn't disappear. It just said it lives in the cloud need to find it again. Okay, so technically your phone and your iPad shouldn't be getting full if you have turned on the optimize my devices, which was, I believe, was it Barbara who first asked, or Mary Ellen? One of you two asked that at the beginning, I think Barbara. If you have
Could you,
on the feature of turn on the optimize storage, then the cloud holds everything, but your devices don't run out of space.
could you explain about what is the optimized device storage?
So and I'm going to share my screen again. And I do remember now that last week I had or hadn't found it on one. So on my phone, you go to settings and you go to your Photos app. So you go to the need to be in my cloud.
Okay.
In my settings, I need to, if you're in anything, you have to back out until you see the word settings up here. Okay, and you have an iPad, so it's the same for the iPad. And then you need to go to your cloud, which everyone, if you want to check, you go to your name. Mine says SBC's Business Services. Imagine that it's my name. It'll say your name. You click on that. And then you go down to find your,
Yes, iCloud. Yeah.
and then you go to your Photos app.
Yeah.
There. And over here, it's optimize my phone storage.
Optimize.
If you're
I don't have any, yes, very same, but I don't have the line, optimize iPhone storage. I don't have any.
So what does it say on yours? It just says
No,
manage
just
storage.
it's gone. And then I don't also know SYN, SYNC, SYN this phone. There's no SYN this phone. And yeah, there's a storage full.
What version of phone do you have?
Oh, it's the phone 13.
iPhone 13. So this should be great. Anyone else not seeing these choices?
Oh.
I think
If
it's
you have
because
iCloud
she
Photos, if you don't
doesn't
have,
sync this phone. That's why I cannot see the
if you don't
optimized.
have sync this phone, then your photos are not going to the cloud. This
Yeah.
is the feature that makes the photos. By
I
the
see.
way, this is the one that you
Okay.
should turn on
I
and
got it next
willy-nilly.
time.
This is
Okay.
important not to turn on and off. If you turn it on, photos are going to the cloud or beginning to connect between iPhone and iPad. If this is off, your photos are disconnected from device to device. But if you do now have it on and turn it off, the default setting is all the photos will stay on the cloud. It won't be on your phone or on your computer. It defaults to the cloud. So if you turn it on, they're everywhere. If you turn it off, they default to the cloud. It's not that hard to then bring them back to your computer if that's what you want to do, stop having the cloud. But once this is turned on, now your photos are going to start syncing with the cloud from device to device. Okay? Is that clear for everyone what we're doing here? Is that something that we need a bit more work on? What's happening?
Could you explain what is the SYN, this phone, and SYNC? What is that?
Synchronize. It's basically the process that the school uses, that the computer uses to go from one device to the other. So it's the same as if physically you connect the cable, only it happens through the internet. It's synchronized. It equalizes the photos that are in one photo go to the other device. Okay, that's
So
basically.
syncing pose 86% is what's that mean?
Sync 86%
Posed 86%.
paused at 86%. I don't know why it's paused, probably because you're
Okay.
it
All
needs,
right, I will figure it out later. Okay.
yeah, it probably, if it's paused,
Maybe I need a more
if your
space
phone
or
is
something.
on, listen, if your phone is on reduced battery, it won't automatically sync. It'll wait until you turn on main battery. I don't know if that's something you do. That's a tip.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you guys, if your phone is low on space, by the way, it looks like I'm talking just to in here because she has a question, but this is for everyone, right? You should all have gone to the phone settings, go to the cloud, find this stuff. So whenever I'm helping people, I'm asking everyone to kind of follow through those steps to know how to find these things. So I'm reading, if your phone is low on space, full resolution photos and videos are automatically replaced with smaller device-sized versions. Full resolution versions can be done with iCloud at any time.
Okay.
So how do I do that? And what do I mean by that? Well, if I go to iCloud.com, I can select this photo
Mhm.
and say download, and it downloads onto my computer. This is iCloud.com, and I'm looking at it in my computer. Does that make sense? So that's all I need to do. I want to make a 16 by 20 of this photo. I just download it, and it says more download options. I can right click and I can say unmodified original. Or if I've already edited it and I have high resolution or most compatible, whatever, I can choose which one I want to download. Or just the original one, and I'll now work on it in the computer. Okay.
So when you download and then the first
Now
photo on your
hold
this
on,
one is gone?
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. You're on an iPad, you're on an iPhone. So when it downloads into your phone's files app in your iPhone or your iPad.
Mhm.
People on their computers, it downloads into the downloads folder. It does not delete it or eliminate it. It's just giving you the big version. Because we don't need
big version.
100,000 photos, big versions on our phone. We need this one and only this one. So we download this one, then we send it to the printer to get a 16 by 20 print. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no need to hold all the big stuff in the phone unless you need it. And if you need it, you just do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Barbara? You're muted.
So it doesn't download it to the phone, the pictures. You wouldn't find it in the pictures.
It becomes a download because it's a file. Yeah, because you already have the picture here, right? So let me go to a picture that's very distinctive. Here, these three little houses. I'm not aware right now. One thing that I don't know is if the big or the small version is here. But if I right click, this is the iCloud, and I say download, I'm gonna just say download, that's it. Download, right?
You're not sharing.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Let me share my screen again. Thanks for that. That was really quick. Good scene. So this is the iCloud photos. How do you distinguish? This is my iCloud.com versus this is my computer. It doesn't, so it's kind of like, I want you guys to understand. This is my computer right here. So I'm going to go, what, let me actually find one of the final photos. Let me see this peacock. It's a peacock, everyone. It's different than anything else. This is a peacock on my computer. I have it on my computer. I haven't yet shown you how to find info. But anyway, we'll talk about that a bit later. Now I'm going to go to the cloud, the internet, iCloud.com. I'm going to look for that peacock because it was at the very end, so it's easy to find. Here it is. Okay. So if I click on this little thing and I say download, it says, do you want to allow downloads for iCloud.com? Okay. Just, to make sure that this is a safe site and that I'm not downloading things that have viruses. And I will say, no, allow. That's good. So that photo, if I go over here to my Finder, I need to share my Finder window. Hold on, I need to reshare. So this is now my Finder window. And in my Finder window, if I go to my downloads, there's the file. And this is the full size file. Now, I believe on my phone, since I have a lot of space, I still had the full size file. But anyway, and in my computer, I did too. But now for sure, I have it here in my downloads. In my Photos app, we don't need a duplicate, so it's not here, right? Because the only reason to download it would be if I want to send it to like a professional printer who's going to give me a 16 by 20. Like I'm going to need it outside of the app. Does that make sense? And that's my full size image. and I downloaded it and went into my downloads folder. Now, if you're on a phone and you do the same thing, on the phone, the files app, and if you've never used it, and I can't teach you file management, I'm doing that in my Mac level 1 class, which starts on Thursday. This is the files folder, and here's my downloads. And if I were to have downloaded it from the phone, it would end up here in my downloads folder on my files app, which is equivalent to what we just did on the computer. That's where files that you download from the internet go and land. Okay, you guys? If you've never used that, I teach all about how to file manage on the phone in the Mac level 1 class, which begins on Thursday, in fact, and I still have, I believe, a spot or two, I believe. And it's from 9 to 12:35 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, so let me know if you want that to understand more about where files go and all that kind of stuff. That's as far as I'm gonna go with file management, and I'm gonna continue with photos management that we already have in our phones. I'm gonna stop my share for a minute. Yes, Unhee?
So when I put the download, they say it's a download option. It's a three things. And then can I have a one picture is a 1, 2, 3 is okay? Or can I put download just the first one unmodified original, and then later somebody asked some JPEG size, and then how can I go there or
Download anything you
originally?
want. You can download anything
originally?
you want. You can download it modified, not modified, JPEG or HEIC. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about those options, but right now, just if the only reason you would download it in big is if it's going to a professional printer, for example, who you're sending the file to get a 16 by 20. Ask them which file size, which file type they want. If they want a JPEG, give them the download a JPEG. There's no need to download the full size unless you are that
Okay.
professional printer and you have that own printer at your home. I believe, Thomas, you do that and you're going to be doing full size images and you want that yourself. In which
Okay.
case you figure out what you want yourself. In Photoshop, you do a JPEG or an HEIC, it doesn't matter. And you can process it in Photoshop and in Camera Raw instead of having the photo processed by the phone. So it's a choice. You can do whatever you need. Okay. Photo is
Yes.
up there ready to be served to you whichever way you want it. Okay, I do need to keep, because a lot of this will keep coming up as we talk, but these are great questions as to where do we go with those photos. For the most part, the only reason you need these big ones, as I said, you might need one, two, a punctual photo. But if you need to make slideshows of the trip you took, if you need to make videos of what you took, we can all do that without downloading the big files. It's the only if you want a really, really big picture printed that and only if your phone didn't have space to keep it or your iPad didn't have space to keep it. And thus the photo they had was the small version. So even then, it's not even very often that you need to download a photo. Does that make sense what I'm saying, you guys, for everyone? It's for the most part, unless you're running out of space, the photo is there on your phone. It's only when you begin to run out of space that the phone goes, that the computer, that the app, goes, all right, let's keep the big version there and show her the small one, which for us, we'll never notice that it's the big one or the small one. For 99% of what we do with a photo, which is just look at it and enjoy it. Or, but if you're going to print a book, for example, and oh, she's not here right now. Patricia was in my morning class. She's printing a book of family photos. And depending on the size, if she's going to do a full page image, she might want one of the big downloads. But even for all her little inserts, what's on the phone, even if it's a small version, should be good enough. So if you're doing calendars, so 99% of the times, what's on the phone is or your iPad is just more than good enough. But it depends. Maybe you have a very old phone with very little space in it, or a very old. My iPad is really old and has zero space in it. So anything in there is a preview. But it sees all my bazillions of photos, even though it's a tiny, tiny, tiny iPad. I think it's a 32 gig. It's an old iPad with very few gigabytes, and I see all my thousands of photos. Not these, this is the school number, my real photo app, which has many, many, many thousands of photos. I don't know right now what the number is. And the iPad has 0 space, can show them all to me in that mode. Okay. I'm going to clear your answers. Anyone other than Unhee who has questions or, I mean, everything we've been talking about is really useful for everyone, but if anything was like, well, what if, and he has a lot of what ifs. What do you guys have any what ifs that you want to ask about all of this? Nope. Okay. Once again, you don't have to have the iCloud feature turned on for those of you who don't. If you, like Kate said, she's making a choice. I know Thomas was making that choice. If you do, all you need to do is turn on that sync feature. But if you're not paying more, what's going to happen is your phone's going to go, well, if you want me to sync all your photos, you need to pay more. So you go from $0 a month to $1 a month or 99 cents a month. And then if you need even more space, then it goes up to $2.99 a month. So just know that if you just turn that on, as soon as they calculate how much space you need, they'll tell you, all right, you need to pay for this. And then you start, once you pay, it automatically starts the transfer. Okay. So that's in case you decide you want that to work. And if you don't want that to work, then don't. Just make sure to connect all the time. Put stuff on your computer. If you want it on your computer to not lose it because phones die, definitely put it on an external drive, do something, but don't leave it just on your phone. Okay. That's it for now. As for how the system works amongst all your devices, if you come up with any other questions, please, of course, continue to ask. I'm going to go ahead and close the iCloudPhotos.com. But if this is the first time you visited it, there you go. Notice that if I go to media types, videos, and this is for Tanya, go ahead and check in here to see if those videos that aren't in your phone are probably not here either. Now, can you upload stuff? Yes, you can. If I were to grab something from my computer, oh, you can't see it. I had stopped my share. If I upload something myself right now from my computer that I happen to have on my screenshot that I just did, and I just upload it to the computer, it'll upload and then it'll transfer to all your devices. So I wasn't sharing. Let me share again. I'm going to share and disconnect from the iCloud.com right now. Is there any other iCloud.com questions before I sign out? Nope. For those of you who want to know more about the iCloud and everything else, if I go over here, it's these are all all the iCloud. Oh, I'm reopening it. I don't want that. All the stuff that's in the cloud. It's just not photos. I just showed you the photos part only. Okay. So now I've canceled out. I signed out and I'm going to close Safari. One less thing on when I'm running so many Zooms. I don't want so much stuff on. And I'm going to keep showing you things from my 2 main devices, computer and phone. And I'm just going to show that now. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you don't confuse what's happening in the iCloud.com with the computer, because visually it looks kind of similar, but the iCloud.com has very few choices and options to modify your photos, right? And so we want to do that from the computer or the phone, but not from the iCloud. The iCloud is good to see what's stored, but that's it. It doesn't help. It's not the place I would go and do any organizing or editing or stuff like that, unless I had to. I mean, you can create albums and stuff, but why, if you don't have to, why use that? Okay, so, oh, thank you, Bob. Someone has written in the chat that we need your last name. Let me add. Thank you. Who said that? Barbara. Thank you. Thank you so much, because that's a reminder to me. Otherwise, so every now and then I check my phone, my chat, and see if there's any particular questions. But right now, that seems to be it. Okay. So Tanya, just one thing. If you want to see you said that your computer had a video. If for chance you do want to see it on the rest of the devices, try uploading it to the cloud and see if then it appears on your other devices, just to see. Maybe, I don't know what the reasoning might be. Maybe it's a format. I don't know what the reasoning might be that you didn't have it. Okay. All right. So here we are. Let me open my photos up. Here we go. So if I were to try to use my camera right now, right, it's not available because I'm operating it from my Mac, okay? But I just wanted to show you that this little spot right there would take me to the photos. And it's not, because this isn't going to the Photos app. It's just your camera that is showing you, I know I got it, thank you, that is showing you just the photos you just took. So once again, if we want to have, if we want to use the photos from our phone, we need to go to the Photos app and open it up. That same Photos app is the one that I just opened on my computer. And now let's start comparing. And I've never done both at the same time. I always do one first, then I show the other. So I don't want it to be confusing. You guys tell me if it becomes confusing to do this way or helpful. Just stop me and tell me. All right. The only thing is by doing it this way, it's double the size, and I want to make sure that you guys have the space on your computer to see it, but we'll see. All right. So let's start with the computer. And in the computer, as I said, you have a sidebar. And if you don't see the sidebar, and I'm going to make my window really small, and you weren't able to see that really, but I just made my window smaller. And see how my sidebar disappeared? So if you ever open up your phone and it looks, your computer, and it looks like this, which is pretty much like the phone, you can't really do too much because it needs the sidebar to see all your stuff. So you need to spread it open a little bit wider. That's it. And then when the sidebar appears, you're good. Now you can make your sidebar a little bit bigger or smaller by putting your mouse right there if you want less space to be taken up. But other than that, you're good. And then the photos themselves, you can see either in this mode or in that mode. So what do I mean by that? Here I'm seeing that this one is vertical, this one's horizontal. I'm seeing the entire photo. I'm using this little button right there. If I do that, then it looks kind of cute. It looks like a little, uh, cute display and stuff like that. But um, I'm not really seeing the ones that are horizontal are losing a little bit on the sides, and the ones that are vertical are losing a little bit on the top and bottom. But for a cute display, it's kind of nice, right? So you can do it one way or the other. How do you do that on your phone? So on your phone, you can go over here. Hold on, let me move it over. You can go over here to where it says, no, not where it says select. It used to be, did they move it? Where it is? I need to open my others because since I'm operating it sideways. It used to be right there. Let me go to the Word photos. Huh. Where did they move it to? Sorry. I'm suddenly having a blank. It was right there. Oh, here. Oh, because on the phone it's not showing. Is it here?
Where?
Let me see. Okay, I found it. So you need to see just your photos first. So I'm going to scroll down. So look at the difference. Okay. Look at it now where I'm seeing 2/3, maybe a bit more than half of my screen is little photos. And then I see recent days and albums and all that kind of stuff. People, pets, we're going to talk about that. So if I want to see just my photos, watch what happens. I'm going to scroll down. And the moment I'm seeing only the photos, then these choices appear at the bottom. See that? Years, months, and all. But to the left of those two, you have these two arrows. When you click on these two arrows, you can say View Options, and this is where you can choose Square Grid or Photo Grid. Square Grid or Photo Grid. So now I'm going to leave it in Square, and that's how this tends to default for most people on their phones. But if you were to want to see them in vertical or horizontal, so once again, how did I find this? Is you need to be just seeing your photo, scrolling up, then go to this up and down arrows, click on that, view options, and then aspect ratio grid. And when you click away, now you're seeing verticals and horizontals. It isn't as pretty to show off your trip, but it's a bit more useful if you want to see everything that's there. All right, if you were able to find this both on the phone and on the computer to change the grid one way or the other, then give me a good old yes.
Oh,
Let me let Vera in and
yeah, sure.
Mary Ellen. Yep, what's your question? But hold on, are these yeses from this question or let me do this again. I think your feedback hadn't been cleared. So
Oh,
your feedback, okay. Give me a yes if you were able to change the proportion of from square to showing you both vertical and horizontal. And if you were able to do that on both your devices or 3 devices, if you also have an iPad, then on 3 of your devices, then give me a yes. Okay, Mary Ellen?
Where is the horizontal vertical switch? I see where you got the up and down arrows
On the
here
phone or on the computer?
on the phone.
Okay, so you need to first be seeing only your photos.
Yes,
Then the all years and months turns on.
yes.
Then these little double arrows, you click on that. And then you go to view options. And here it is, square, or they call it ratio grid, aspect ratio grid, or square. Did you find it?
Yes.
Cool. You can also choose to see them bigger, zooming in or zooming out. I just put my fingers and spread my fingers to make it bigger or smaller, but I guess you could do that or that, but yeah. I prefer, if I want to see them bigger, I prefer clicking on it. This just doesn't. So, yeah, okay. Any other questions? So give me a yes, give me a no if you couldn't find it. And if you didn't answer at all, I'll check in with you. Hi, Vera. Thanks for joining us. All right. So, Marilyn, haven't heard from you yet. Is that a yes or a no? What's happening? Because you're on your phone, I know. Can you hear me, Marilyn? Okay, if people are talking to me before when I could see your face, Marilyn, you were talking thinking I was hearing you. Now I can't see your face, so I don't know if you're talking. If you can, turn on your video so that I can see whether you're talking, but if not, just know that I can't hear you because I'm calling your name, and if you're saying something, I have no idea you're saying something because I don't hear you nor see you, okay? So give me a yes or a no, or unmute yourself or open your video so that I can see you in case you're asking for help and I do not know. Okay, great. Yes, and he?
Oh, I successfully with the iPhone, but I cannot buy the iPad. I don't know why.
And iPad, I don't have here to demo. It should be see, here's the thing. An iPad is in between a phone and a computer, right? So on the iPad, you might find it in the same place that I did on the computer, which is in this little icon. That's the icon that
Icon? Oh,
right
let me see.
there.
Which one? Could you which one? Oh,
Right
your
there.
computer. Where do you put it? I can get it.
If it's on the iPad, I don't know where it would be. Look for an icon like that.
Okay, let me try. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
During break, I'm gonna go get my iPad, which is now in the house, and I can see if I can find it.
Screenshot. Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna lower your hand. There we go. All right. Okay. So let me clear your answers, clear your feedback. Okay, great. So now, again, starting with the computer.
Oh, yes, I got it. Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
I think we can hear you. Should I mute you for a minute while you're talking, or? Unhe, we can hear. There we go. All right. So here on the left side, on the sidebar, we have words like favorites, maps, recently saved, recently deleted, days, people, pets. We're going to talk about what each one of these things mean. It's visible. It's available. Where do we find that on the phone? We need to start scrolling up. And then here we go. Recent days, albums, peoples and pets, pinned collections, memories. So they're not in the same order. The stuff is all there. Trips. So we're going to start talking about what of this is where and how can we change that and can we move it ourselves. There's a couple of other choices like personalize the photos app at the very bottom. How do you like it? So maybe you want to see the shared albums at the top, or maybe you want to see something else at the top. But right now, okay, I just muted whoever just came in. I think that you have either two connections, and so that was a reverb, or you had noise in the background. Someone just showed up that just says iPhone. Who is that? Is that someone's second iPhone? Did someone just pop in again with their second iPhone?
It was me. I went off. I lost connection, had to go back on.
Oh, so this is
So
Marilyn
it's still
again?
Maryland, yeah.
Okay, so Marilyn Candace iPhone. Okay, yeah, because I was talking to you before and I couldn't, you weren't hearing back. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. So now, that's what we're gonna do to find things that are here in different order. I'm leaving this one on the same order that the app chose for me so that I don't have any changes, but you can make choices to change that, as I said, at the very, very bottom. And maybe you should wait until you know more about it, but you can click customize and reorder, and then you can tell it, well, I don't want to see recent days, or I want to see trips, but I want trips to be at the top. So I'm going to push it up. So to push it up, you're going to put this, your mouse on, or your finger on these three little lines, and you're going to drag it up. Or you want to see albums before recent days, or you want utilities at the bottom, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So you can reorganize or say, no, I never want featured photos. Just turn it off. Or yes, I do want featured photos. Okay. So you turn it on or off, or you move recent days to go under albums or albums to go under recent days. So you can make those choices. I'm going to reset to how it comes and close this off, but you guys can play with it. And it's not a very dangerous thing to play with because, as you can see, you can always reset and it'll go back to having it the way it came. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. Because yeah, like sometimes I want to be able to see my favorites first of all. And when I go down, I don't remember my favorites. I don't know, I want my favorites to be more handy than having to search for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So what is and what are these favorites? Well, that's the second choice on the left side of your computer now, sidebar. And I click on favorites. All the things I have under favorites have a little heart over there. Okay, but who put that heart in? Well, that would be me. Let me go back to my library. Let me explain a bit the library a little bit more. The library shows every single photo in order of when it was taken. That's it. There's no way to organize these. It's just, I took this one before that one, and I took that one after this one. That's it. Does that make sense? If I were to grab this one and say, I want to put that one over there because it makes sense. Nope, it won't let you. Nope, it won't let you. This is solely by order of when the photo was taken. Same here. Here you can't even begin to try to drag it to move it over. It just doesn't even, doesn't, nothing. Okay. So when you want to not see something, there's ways to hide or get rid of or delete. But when you want to see this next to that, because they belong in a certain order, you have to make yourself some albums. And we're going to talk a lot about albums. But what if you're just wanting to say, before I even go into albums, what if you're just trying to say, well, I really, really love this one. It's a great photo. I've already looked at it in big. Let's say you already looked at it in big and you know that you love it. You can hover over it and see when when you hover over it, a little tiny heart appears in outline. I can just go ahead and click on that heart. Simple as that. If I were to now go to my favorites, that photo has been added to my favorites. Okay. I can either say, oh, I didn't mean that. And from the favorites, I can re-click on that heart and it goes away. Or I can, in the library, turn it on and then go, not really, and turn it off again. So it's just a matter of hitting that little heart. There's one more place where I can select, if I select this one and say, this is my favorite, I can also come to this little heart right there and turn the heart on from there. I don't see the point when it's easier to hover over it and turn it on from there. Okay, so now, if you turn it on and if you do that and you put that one as a favorite, you don't need to drag it or take it anywhere. The computer knows that if you've put a heart on it, it will show it to you under the favorites. Okay? Now, before I go and show you this on the phone, yes, Unhee, what's your question?
No, it's a mistake. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Lower your hand. Okay. So now same thing with the phone. Look at, I just did that on the computer and look, already in my phone, the little heart has appeared. Okay. Because the cloud, right? It knows already what I did to that photo. So those of you who are having two separate devices, then if you choose to make organization or choices on this one, it won't show up there. And if you do it here, it won't show up there. So you need to make a choice and go, okay, the phone just takes the photos, but I don't do anything to them until I put them on my computer and then I handle them. Or the phone takes the photos and I handle them solely in the photos. And then whenever I transfer them, then there's a way of bringing things in that keeps your organization. And there's a way of just bringing them raw without organization. So it's your choice. But I'm showing you that right now, since my photos are on the cloud, that I just gave it a heart over there and it appeared with a heart over here. Now, where do I find all my favorites, right? So right now, I can go all the way to utilities and click on favorites. And here it is. These are my favorites. And in fact, the last photo that I just put in the favorites is this one, and see how it's popping up in the top as opposed to on my computer that it was showing out at the bottom. On top of that, on the phone, it's slowly giving me this little like video where it's already scrolling through my favorites and giving me a little mini kind of video version of it. But if I want to see each one individually, I'm seeing it there. But it took me a while to get to that, right? I'm going to back out with this little arrow. And so I had to go from here where I decided, say that this peacock is now a favorite. I'm going to click on it and I want to make it a favorite because I saw it in big and I love it. Then here's my heart. Boom. I gave my peacock a heart. I'm going to back out of there. And if I scroll all the way to my favorites and click on that, there's my peacock. And if I look on my computer to see, it doesn't yet have a heart. So if I go to my favorites, oh, in the moment that I transferred, there it was. The peacock appeared in my favorites. Okay. If you were able to make a favorite and let me clear your answers, and you were able to add it or take it away, and it's a simple, I don't want the peacock anymore. I touch on the heart, it goes away. If that over here, it's about to disappear. There you go. It disappeared a second later. If that works, then that's good. And if you want to leave the favorites option, in this case, you need to back out, going to this little arrow, okay, right there. And then you click on that to back out of favorites mode. And then you're back in all your different albums and stuff like that. Okay. So once again, if I wanted to make a favorite, I have to select it to get it bigger. Then I can make it a heart. On the computer, on the other hand, I can just give it a heart right then and there. I don't need to make it bigger. But what if I wanted to see it bigger, to see if this truly is such a great photo? There's a couple different ways. The easiest one, if you like to double click, is just to double click. And it got bigger. And I go, oh, wow, this is truly a favorite. And then the heart would be up here if it's big. So then I back out. What if I want to see this one? So there's I believe, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I think there's a shortcut and I'm suddenly forgetting which one it is. But the easiest, there's a command or something, but the biggest one is if I select it and I want to look at it better, hit the space bar. Hit the space bar. So if I want to see this one better, I hit the space bar. And then I can go with my arrow tools and begin to go down, down, up, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. I'm using the arrow tools on the keyboard to move up and down my photos, okay? And when I'm done and I want to go down again, I hit the space bar again and I'm down, okay? So you go ahead and select something and then hit the space bar to see it bigger. Down, 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 up, 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 left, 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 right, right, right. Hit the space bar to come down again. So if you're ever to navigate and on the phone, you just make it bigger, click on it. And then if you want to keep going to the right or left, you can drag with your fingers back and forth, or you get this little, I guess, film strip where you can put your mouse here and scroll really quickly, or you can do one by one like that with your mouse here, or you click and drag your way here and you move faster through all your photos, but it goes pretty fast like that. Or you back out again and then you go like this and then you look on this one and then you can go back and forth on this one. Does that make sense, you guys? If that worked for you, give me a yes. I want everyone to know how to see this in big, see this in small, see this in big, see this in small, give it a heart and it's big, take it off if you don't like it. Same with this one. If it's big, where do I give it the heart? That little heart doesn't appear anymore. You have to do it over here. Take it off, you back out, or you put a heart right there and you take it off. If all of that worked and everything is good, then lots of yeses. All right, I'm seeing mainly yeses out there. Okay, well, that's really good. Okay, I'm going to go into metadata and a bunch of other stuff. So let's take our break now before I start with something new. Let me look at the time. 3:08. Can someone please tell me what's 15 minutes plus, let's say 3:09. Let's say
23,
23. Let's say, so be back at 3:23
25,
p.m. And
25.
what's that?
Oh, so 3:25, yeah?
3:23, but there's already 3:29, so let's make it 3:24 p.m. Let's all be back at 3:24 p.m. I teach my Mac students in my Mac class to just talk to Siri and to say, hey Siri, set timer for 12 minutes. And then that means that so now in 12 minutes, no matter where I am out there in the world, I give me 3 minutes to make it back to my computer. Okay, I want to be able to start and not have to repeat myself to everyone who shows up late. I understand things happen. If you're late, that's fine, but try to make it back on time.
Okay, thanks.
Mary Ellen, can your question wait until I come back so I can get a break?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
write it down because sometimes people go, I forgot what I was going to ask. So write it down.
15 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
See you
see you.
guys in 15 minutes.
Anna? Anna Uni? I'm wondering how you got that I'm away sticker.
Hello?
Anna?
Yes.
Hi, how did you get that I'm away with a little coffee mug? Where did you get that?
Ah, oh, yes. You put the top is a more three dot
Uh-huh.
and then oh yeah, and then put there and raise the hand the center the hands and then green red X and then
Oh,
arrow. Yes, yes. Got
okay.
it? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it? Are you Barbara? Mm. Oh. Okay. 했는데 안 되지? 버추버거 미팅. 아니야.
I'm sorry, Annie. I was or Anna, I was I had a phone call. Be right back. You have a cute little coffee cup, and I just have a oh, there you go. Oh, cool.
All right, I'm back. Oh, hi, Curtis.
Hi, I'm sorry I can't stay, but I did want to get credit for attending.
Thank you so much.
I'll watch the video. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So I was in the room the last couple of minutes getting some things ready, and I heard you guys talking. So if there's any questions that I need to intervene in, let me know. But other than that, that's good to know. That you guys are answering each other's questions. I wasn't paying attention. I just heard people talking, so I don't know what you were saying. So if you have a question, let me know. But I did want to say that when you show up during the break, like Vera, I think, or my son, like as soon as I came in back into the room, I let you in. But sometimes it's weird, especially like Curtis, suddenly the only time you connect is when I'm not here. So for those people asking, you know, that I've asked you to connect when when you miss the class, if you happen to check in during those 15 minutes and I'm not answering, it's, you know, and it goes on and on, it's because we're on break. So hopefully you can hang in there or come back in 15 minutes. Because, yeah, if I don't let you in, it doesn't register as having been here, right? So, yeah. All right, so, yeah, Mary Ellen? You had a,
It's not a photos question, so I can ask at the end of class.
oh, okay. I have the iPad here that I said I was gonna go find. Well, let me go see if I can see. Oh, okay. I see where it is. So I don't have here. Kind of weird because God, I haven't connected this in so long. Hold on. It doesn't have, oh, it doesn't have a connection here because I'm in this room and it doesn't know this Wi-Fi. So give me a second. Yeah, it doesn't have my photos anyway. So right now it's not resolving the photos, but if I can put this in front of my nose, you can see it for a minute here. So no. So, oh, this is mainly for Unhee, and Unhee is saying that she's away. So I'll wait until she comes back, because what's the point? I was trying to show you how to see the aspect ratio on the iPad, but she's gone. So remind
Oh,
me. when
I'm
she-
not gone.
Oh, it says I'm away.
Oh, no, I'm
But
here.
you have
Okay.
you turned on your coffee thing that says I'm away, your little button.
Oh, that means that. No.
Okay, so
I
I'm
just,
looking
it's
up
a
going
cue,
back.
so I just put on it. Ah, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna set this up in front of the camera for just a minute.
Okay.
Oh, looks like there the photos are resolving.
Just to-
I don't know that this is gonna. Anyway, screenshot, I don't know. I'm trying to find. It's just, okay, it's spending a lot of time trying to get the photos in, so it's not getting it in. I told you it's a very old, very slow. Let me go over here and turn off my blur video. Blur my background, there you go. So I can't show you very well because it's not showing the photos yet, but let me just show you this. Up here on the top right, you can choose to see this with or without the sidebar. See that? When I
Yeah.
see it without the sidebar, then over here it says aspect. And the aspect ratio is what turns it into landscape or but it's only when this is not turned on. When this is turned on, that doesn't say that. You see what I mean? When the photos resolve themselves, I'll show it again. It was showing a few before, but I need to tell it what the Wi-Fi is for the room. Anyway, I'll do that a little bit more later. All right. So, okay. So, so hopefully that helped anyone else who hasn't. Does anyone else have an iPad that you're doing this with? Let me actually clean your answers. I think there's some answers from before. Does anyone else have an iPad that you're working with for your photos? I mean, in general, Barbara? Okay. So if you see what I just showed you, if it looks any different in yours, let me know. Because again, actually, I think it's up to date on the summer. It's, I think it's up to date on the, yeah, it's not showing me my photos. I need to connect it to, anyway. All right. So let's get back. Let me share my screen. Now, here we go. I have on the left side my photos from my computer, and the right side my photos from my phone. And the library as we said, is unmovable, can't move things around, nothing. It's every single photo or video you've taken in order in which they're taken. But there's a chance to amend that information if it's wrong. And when would it be wrong? For example, if it's a screenshot, say a screenshot of an old photo, or a photo of an old photo, or a scan of an old photo, right? So say you went and you visited an aunt and she had a photo of your parents' wedding that you didn't know, so you took a picture of it. Well, it's going to show up as that photo having been taken today or whenever you went to your aunt's house. And so if you took that photo in May of this year, it'll show up your parents' wedding in May of this year. So you can change that data, okay, if it's wrong. And I usually have some that I have changed, but I'm not sure where those are right now. It's kind of weird. Okay, so here we go. At my oldest photo that I have in here, if you notice up here, it says April 1st, 1930. Now, what's the chance of that? Okay, so there's no chance that that's the date on it. So that has been changed. So find a photo that's not important to you, the keyboard that we took this morning, like something that doesn't matter at all. And we're going to work or take another keyboard photo. So I'm in fact gonna use this one that's a keyboard photo from who knows when, because it's already at the very, very top. But go ahead and find the one that we did today. And let me actually shift and change my entire screen to show you this, because you need to select it and then you need to go all the way to the top where it says image and say adjust date and time. And then I can tell it when to make that photo be. So now I'm going to change that and tell it that it was from 1973. So it's still really old, so it'll still be. And I told it that I showed it, it's mountain daylight time. Or I'll tell it that I took it on East Coast time. So I can say New York. And so then it'll go into Eastern daylight time. And it's kind of placing it over there. It's going to be adjusted by 42 years, 30 days. So I'm going to say adjust. And now it's still showing up a long time ago, but notice that it popped in because it looks like in this exercise that I've done before, I seem to have labeled other things even older than that. Now, how did you see what date it is? Because over here now it's saying from February 2nd, 1955, which I can only guess is the first one, to December 26th. So this one, the last one it's showing me, is from December 26th, 2015. The span of photos that I'm seeing span from February 2nd, 1955 to December 26, 2015. But how do I see the individual dates on everything? How do I see the date on this one or the date on this one or even the date on that one? So see this little eye surrounded by a circle, the info window? We're going to turn that info window on and this little guy turns on. Okay. So now when I click on this photo, it tells me it is January 29th, 1970. And this photo, if I hit the space bar, this is actually my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law. And I guessed this is a photo of a photo that someone took from an album. You can even see the table that the photo was lying on, that someone photographed and sent to me. And they probably took it a couple of years ago. So I changed the date to about when my husband remembers about when this kid was this age. So it's his brother. So I gave it a 1970. So now in my library, it shows up at the very, very top. Now my keyboard is showing up as having been taken on April 1st, 1973, because I just I just said that to it, right? So this info here, oh, and on this one, I told it that I had taken it in New York. For some reason, it decided it's from Chicago. Oh, maybe I did that last time. I did that last time. I told it where it had been taken. So I can go in the info and I can tell it that this was taken in, I don't know, Paris, Texas. Boom. So now it's showing me that it's in Paris, Texas. And yes, it's in Texas because if I go out there, I'm in the United States. I'm not in actually Paris. So I changed the place, the location, and the date of this photo using the info window. Now I could have also gone to image, adjust location, and I could say revert to the original location, copy location, assign location. But since it has a location, then the info window is what allowed me to change the location. Okay, so this I can do on my computer. Let's see if everyone has done this and what this info window shows you, if we can do it too. So like this is a photo that's in Buenos Aires. I'm from Argentina. For those of you who haven't gotten my full introduction yet, I'm from Argentina. I'm from Buenos Aires. This is a photo. Yes, believe it or not, I used to straighten my hair. You can't tell I have curls. And that's me with two of my friends. And I go ahead and changed. It's a photo of a photo. You can even see the little edges of the photo there. It's a photo, so it's a scan. So, or a photo of a photo. I don't know if it's a scan or photo of a photo. So I gave it around the date that it should have, and I gave it just a generic Buenos Aires, Argentina. I don't know where we were in when we took that picture, but I just at least gave it the city name. Okay. Yes. Give me a yes if you were able to change the date, time, and location of your keyboard photo or any photo that wasn't a photo that mattered. And now give me a yes or a no. And then yes, Mary Ellen.
How did you change the date? I missed that part.
Mhm.
I've got the info window.
I selected it. I went up to image, adjust date and time.
Ah, got it. Thank you.
And then I changed it. Looks like this photo of my monitor. It was taken in 1960. Let me make this one be a 1932 photo. And now, and I say accept, and instead of LA, let's say that this was taken in I don't know, Tijuana, Mexico, and I'll say okay. And now there it is. It passed to the front because it's a 1932 and it hasn't yet changed location. It's interesting because I changed it up there. Revert to original location. And now let me change that to London, I guess is where it said that it had been taken. And then I gave it London. Okay. So this one now I have changed it in here to have the right information. Okay. I'm seeing yeses. Mary Ellen, is that a hand the same question or it was still up? I'll bring it down. Okay, I'm not seeing no's or yeses everywhere. So if you see it, Diane, how did it go? By the way, hi. Thanks for joining us. I think during the break you joined us. Carol, how's it going? Were you able to change your date and location of an unimportant photograph so that then you can go and change the important ones for when it's necessary? Most of the time you want that information. Now there's other photos that didn't have location. This is a photo that doesn't have location. So I can just add the location. I can assign a location and tell it, I don't know. It was my mother-in-law's house and Pine Mountain Pine Mountain Club, right there. That's where she used to live. And now this photo has been assigned a location and it already had a little date that was appropriate. Now I've got to close this window and I don't know where to find it again. I can either click on this little eye again. I can also close it by clicking the eye again. So it's on and off, or I can do Command I to turn it on or to turn it off. So that's the info. So this is called the metadata. Metadata, everything that's part of the photo that is not visual. Okay, so it's not something that you can see, but there's still information. This one happens to have a name, it has a date, time it was taken. It has a camera that shot it. What was the lens? How many pixels? How much it weighs? So this is all like photo information. All the settings in the camera. And then right now I added location. We can add captions and keywords, and we can add a title. We're going to talk a little bit more about all that. But for now, all we want is to see what it's the metadata. Part of the metadata is if I decide to make it a favorite. And over here in this info window, I can also make it a favorite. Here's another little heart. I made it a favorite. Took off the heart. It's not a favorite anymore. Okay, so if this is working and you all have your info and in your computer, you change the data, the location, the time, you can see the metadata of all the photos. Give me a yes. And I think most of you had given me a yes, but I still don't hear, I haven't heard anything from Diane. I'm not sure if you're there. I can't see you or hear you. Oh, okay, now you said no. Okay, so how can I help? You're muted, so if you're saying anything, I can't tell you. I mean, I see the no, means nope, could do it. So can you unmute yourself to ask for, so you can tell me what's wrong? Barbara, you don't have a sidebar on your iPad. Oh, I was showing you how to get it, and let me see if my photos are resolving it on my iPad. No, not yet. So let me still show you my iPad for a second.
It's a really old iPad. Does that matter?
Is this one? This one's really old. Let me take off the blur. So here's my iPad. I'm now looking at it in this direction, I guess, because if I do that, I don't have the sidebar. So then if I go over here to the word photos and I back out, then I can turn the sidebar on or off. Like when I go back to the photos, the sidebar appears. By the way, I did notice that over here, I have that little icon that helps the photos turn into rectangle, into and you don't see the photos yet, but you can see how they became long versus square. Click on that. Now they're square again. So you see the shape. There. But if I'm sideways, then the sidebar should be appearing. I should probably restart it. I don't use this iPad almost at all, so it probably needs a good old restart or something. Anyway, and Diane is popping in again, so she must have been frozen. Okay, Carol, you said no. How can I help? You're muted. Oh, how silly. I was just showing you stuff on the iPad, but I was sharing my screen. So there's no way you could have really seen my share because I was sharing my screen. Sorry about that.
Changed the date. I changed the location, but I couldn't, the date didn't change, the location changed.
Okay, so
And I did press adjust.
you did press adjust?
Uh-huh. After I got to the date that I wanted.
Okay,
What
so
what am I doing wrong?
I mean, other than trying it again, go to it again and see if perchance it reverted.
Okay.
It's so funny.
It went back to 1903.
Yeah, so go ahead and give it another name. Maybe when you typed it in, it could have been that you put 1903 and you only put 190 or something. It didn't register well. So go ahead and check again the data in case you didn't completely type it in correctly, because it's not one of those that has many failed things. You might have not completely given it the right date. And then when you look and it really has the right date, then give it an adjust and tell me if it worked this time.
Okay, I'll have to play with it. I can't figure this out.
Well, do you want to share your screen then? Go ahead and share your screen.
Yep, okay, changed. It worked.
Oh, it worked, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
it probably wasn't, the date wasn't put in. Maybe there was a number missing, something that it couldn't work, and so it just didn't adjust it, but yeah. Because that's not one that has much like It either is or isn't based on what you typed in. All right. I'm going to clear your answers. Looks like everyone who's at least, working and paying attention and not dropping in and out. I think Diane dropped out again and dropped in one more time. So something's happening to her connection. All right. So now let me show you the phone. How do we see the metadata on the phone? Okay. Why is it not wanting to share? Having an issue with my share. There. It wasn't wanting to share. Okay, so here we go. So now on the phone, how do I find the metadata? Well, there's no I for info window. All there is select the photo. And then I'm going to push up with my fingers. And here we are. Now I am seeing that photo metadata. Okay, so back, choose a photo, then pull up with your fingers gently. And here it is. Here's the time. Here's the place. So if I want to adjust it, I'm going to go choose one that's not real. So I'm going to go to one of these at the very top, and I have these to adjust. You might not. So I'm going to go back to this one, pull my fingers up. Now I'm going to adjust once again the time, and I'm going to say that it was taken on April 3rd instead of April 23. I'm going to click on that and tell it was taken in 1958 or something. And then I'm going to hit adjust. I can also change the time zone. I'm going to just hit adjust to that. And I'm going to say, where was it? I'm going to adjust where. And this is going to be actually Paris, France. So I'm going to Paris, France. And I'm going to then select Paris. And now, yay. Now this photo was taken in Paris, France. And there we go. I pull back with my fingers down, pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down. This is new. You couldn't do these adjustments on the phone before. So it's pretty cool that you can now. Yes, Mary Ellen?
I'm not getting that pull up. I try running my fingers up and it just closes the image. Where are you putting your fingers?
Okay, I'd have to show you on my real phone because that one that's sharing I can't now. So let me do this. Let me show you, which is not the best. Let me once again try to, whenever I do this backwards, it's not the best, but here we go. So here's my phone, and I'm just putting one finger, I said two fingers, let's put one finger up and just pulling up, just simple, here, just pull up.
Okay, got it.
Down. Oh, there's something else that's happening when I'm doing this, and I'm going to show it to you, but it's doing this like sticker thing that I'll tell you about later. But so yeah, just pull up, pull down, one finger. Okay. All right. So if everyone was able to change the data of location and time on your iPhone/iPad, please give me a yes. Is there any questions left about that? Let me know. No, or keep your peace. All right. All right. But there's one more thing we can see on photos in the Photos app that we can't do in the actual iPhone. In fact, oh, let me share my screen. Okay. So there's one more thing you can see other than the info window, and that's we could be seeing the titles of the photos under the photos. And we can see a bunch of other metadata. There's a lot of other metadata that's not even here. So let me actually share my entire screen so you see what I'm talking about. Now, if I want to know more info about this photo, right? What other info can there be that needs to be known? Well, let's see, but we have to see it for all of our photos. So everyone, this is only for the computer. Let's go up to the very top of our screen. It needs to say, next to the apple, it needs to say the word photos. So if it doesn't say photos, go click on any of your photos so that it goes to say photos. Then let's go over to view. And then we're going to go down to metadata. So just watch how this works, guys. You might have, if you've taken this class before, you've already turned these on. You're already seeing some words down here. So you know what I'm talking about, in which case just wait it out. For those of you who've never done this, once again, make sure that it says photos by the apple. For example, here it says Finder. So the view will show me something different. So I need to click on this app when it says photos, and I go to the view, metadata, and then see how there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 choices here, but only one has a check mark. That's that little favorite heart. If that favorite had been turned off, I wouldn't even see those hearts. That one by default is always turned on. It's metadata that is allowing me to see. Metadata, it's not visual. It's a choice that's in the data of that photo. Now it says it's a favorite. Same with all of this. I can decide I want to see the titles. As soon as I do that, I begin to see some titles. So unless you've titled it, it probably just has a number. But if you've titled it, like this one says keyboard or this one says sled, we're going to see where we title them. Now you should be seeing the titles. I'm going to go back to metadata and turn on keywords. We're going to talk about keywords. If you have never seen one before, you wouldn't know. But this little like price tag that appeared here, that's a keyword. We'll find out what that means. Basically, I'm going to go and click on all the ones that are not turned on to turn them on. So I'm going to click on edited. And now over here, I'm seeing this little slider, which means that this little icon, that means that it's been edited. And let me make these a little bit bigger so you can see what I mean. So that means that this photo has been edited. Now what edited meaning I cropped it, or I made it lighter, or I made it darker. It also will show me the file type. Now I'm going to go down to referenced file. I'm going to tell you guys in a minute what that is, and I'm going to go down to location. So location, suddenly everything that has a location tag now has this little map pinpoint, like a little pin board and a location. So this one doesn't have a little icon that says location. And if I click on that and look at the info window, yep, there's no location. That one has not been assigned a location. The camera didn't do it. The scanner didn't do it. So it doesn't know. But this one, on the other hand, has a location. Remember I said that was taken in monocytis. And so it has one of those little pins. Okay. This one has a little pin. This one has a little pin. Okay. That's where we used to live when my son was born. Boom. It's pointing to where I used to live. So that is a location tag. The last one before this one, the referenced file, that's if you guys, the people, oh, Thomas isn't here anymore. Thomas isn't here anymore, but he's one of the people who has his files on a different hard drive because he transfers things on his own and doesn't put them in the cloud and whatever. Then a referenced file, it would show you where it is, like what hard drive it's in, or are you showing this image? Well, where's the reference? Where are you seeing it? I'm seeing it in such and such place. Does that make sense? So that's what a reference file would be. So we just turn on all 5. So if you go to metadata and you have check marks on everything, you're good. If not, keep touching the ones that have no check mark. Remember, if you touch them again, you're turning the feature off. Okay. So then go back and turn it on again by touching it. So now we have all of our metadata available. Now that is only on the computer. You cannot do that here in the iPhone. You can't find the rest of the metadata. The only metadata you can find in this iPhone is what's there and nothing else. Okay? That's it. Yeah. So now I want to know a little bit more information about it. If I click on this, it'll say Santa Barbara waterfront kind of thing. So it's a general number and the date of that one photo, right? But that's that little eye there. But other than that, it's interesting. I hadn't noticed. It says, look up Puggle. So look up Puggle. I guess for some reason it thinks that this is a brand Puggle. So it's got one thing that the computer doesn't have. It's got this artificial intelligence. So I'm going to click on this one here. And when I click over here, it says look up dog. It figured out it's a dog, right? So I could look up dog. Now I'm going to back out and show you a plant. When I click on down here, now it has a little leaf on it, and I click on that, and it says look up Coulter's Matilda poppy, right? So it's basically using artificial intelligence to tell you what it is. But most importantly, when you have something that's very easy to isolate like this, look what happens when you're making it bigger like that, or when you're clicking on this little thing right there, like you're saying it bigger. Do you see this like bright light, like a neon light that's running around it? Can you see it? That is a feature that the computer, it started, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. The photo, it's just running around anything that's easy to isolate, right? So if you have something that's all busy, it wouldn't do it. But in this case, it's running around this flower, and it's telling me that I could make a sticker out of it. So I can click on this and say, add sticker. I think if I do it directly on the phone, you can do it differently. And so it opened up something called stickers, and it put a little sticker on that. Now, this is the same place that you go find your emojis, your emoticons. It added a sticker. At some other class, I made a sticker of 4 people riding bikes, my husband and I, my son. Now I'm making a sticker of this flower. So next time I text someone, maybe I might want to add that photo. So let's say that I want to go over here and send a text message. And I'm going to send a text message, and I'm going to go in here and say, hi, hope you're having a good day. And then I'm going to add my stickers. I can send them a little flower, or I'm just going to take the hi out and I'm just going to send a little flower. Well, I guess I can. I'm going to say hi. I don't know. This is functioning like, oh, because I don't have anyone I'm sending it to, so it's not going anywhere. If I'm going to invent a number, I don't know if it's going to invent a number. 805 123 4567. And I'm going to send. And I'm going to send. So I just sent it to no one in particular. It's going to say not delivered, but I just sent them a little flower, which is a little sticker from my phone. So you can create your own little emojis. This is kind of cute. It doesn't really mean much. Some of you will use it a lot. Some of you will never use it. But that's what that is. I'm just trying to show you, because a lot of times people are like, what's that thing that's doing a circle? And now it's much harder if I were trying to do it from here. Like, it's not giving me that choice, see? Because there's nothing very clear. So it's not giving me that choice. But if it's something that could and can be isolated, then that the computer figures it can isolate. Let me find another one. Let me see these tomatoes. I'm going to pull up and see, there we go. See how it's giving me that little outline? So I'm not choosing it, it's the computer. So I know that if I choose that, I can also copy it and paste it and then just send that little bit, or I can look it up and it'll tell me it's tomatoes, or I can add a sticker to my little stickers. And now I'm going to have a little bunch of tomatoes from on my sticker pad. Okay. If everyone has been able to see that on the phone, A, see that they can't find the same metadata that I can find here, but B, have you been able to turn all your metadata on and make a sticker? So that's 2 different things. Then, and you know what? I don't think I cleared your feedback. So same question. If you're able to see all the new metadata, plus you're able to make a sticker, give me a yes. And meanwhile, yes, Mary Ellen?
I couldn't find the look up and make a sticker. I've got the metadata showing, and it's got the info icon at the bottom, but not the icon that you're using to,
So you need to have a photo being selected. Let me stop my share. Let me change the blur. And here's a photo on my other phone, okay? So nothing is telling me it's a sticker. I'm looking at the full photo. When I pull up to see this thing, see how it already said like make a sticker of that? It's like I touch it gently and then it's giving me the option add sticker. So now I'm going to touch it. It's so hard to work backwards. So in this case, there it is. It's adding a sticker. You see that? So it's like it needs to be a photo that's appropriate to make a sticker. So if you choose a photo that the computer can isolate, it just pops it up. In fact, the reason I show it is not because I think everyone should be making stickers, but because too many people have that thing showing up and they don't know what it is and how come part of their photo seems to be separating from the rest. Why is and it's that little bit that's jumping out, and it's the fact that it's offering, do you want me to make a sticker of your little dog? Or do you want me to make a sticker of your little, so see what I mean? Oh, you're sharing your screen. Was that on purpose? Because you're showing me photos for nature. So I'm going to stop your sharing. I don't think you meant to do that.
I can't find the lookup. Where is that?
It might depend on whether the lookup is available. Like if you're doing a photo of something that it can look up and go, oh, this is a dog. But if you're just doing a photo of a sky, I mean, I don't know. It needs to be something that it can recognize and look up. So it doesn't do it for every photo. Does that make sense?
Okay, I've got
Like a little encyclopedia that goes, oh, I see a horse here. Find out about horses.
yeah, I've got a sequoia tree, and it's got like a little light that's
A
going
little
around
leaf
it.
on it. Click on that little leaf and that'll be the lookup. Yeah. Yeah, it'll show you like a little leaf. Go to a photo of a plant, you guys, and you'll see that in the middle of that tree, there'll be a tiny little leaf icon or a little flower icon. Or no, I think it's just a leaf icon for any plants or an animal icon for any animal, dog or horse or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not getting a leaf or anything showing up.
How old is your phone?
It's a 13.
I'm pretty sure it's all about the operating system and that a 13 would do it. Is anyone else getting it, you guys? A little icon that shows you a leaf or I'm trying to see whether there's something you need to turn on or not. Is it a sequoia? Can you see the entire sequoia as a tree? Because it's hard when you're just seeing bark. Sequoias of all things are very hard to photograph. You know what I mean? To really see the thing.
Okay, I used a different photo that has foxglove, and it did do a lady. It says
Yeah, it needs to be pretty clear. It can't figure out from half of, a piece of bark that it's a sequoia. Cool. Mason?
Is the iPhone can do the same thing at the view? You can select all that selection view metadata like
No,
a title,
can't.
keyword, all that.
Nope, it can't. So I was showing you differences now. Before I was showing you same things, that's a difference. Nope, we can't see the metadata in an iPhone.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, then I see one of your picture has like a little hearts and it was like a star around it, and I cannot see the icon on my photo here.
Favorite, you need to select the photo and then choose the heart that's at the bottom of it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, because I only have the upload hearts and the information and the edit and the
so you see the
trash.
hearts. So you do see the hearts or not?
I see the heart.
Yeah.
That's the favorite.
That's the favorite, yeah. But
Uh-huh.
that's it. Right now, we haven't done anything else with our photos other than favorite, or not favorite. We haven't organized them in any way or shape or form. But over here, all I see is the hearts, but I don't see the other metadata, the title, all that. I only see
Mm.
whatever this wants to tell me down there. That's the only metadata I see.
Mm.
Now, we can add a caption, which is one of the pieces of metadata we could see on the other one, but right now without a caption, there's nothing else we can see. I haven't shown you yet. There's some faces here. There's more that we can see, but we're getting there, okay? We're not completely there yet. And here it's telling you what photo, so there's some more information in here, but it doesn't have everything. Over here, I wanted to show on the computer what we were talking about if you have a plant, that's very obviously that plant, you can see this little icon that appears, and it's hard to see, it's so tiny, but it's a little tiny leaf that if I click on it, it'll say lady's glove, toxic plant, flowering and da 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 da. And then I can move on to foxglove or yellow clover. It's basically, it's just AI trying to recognize it and going, oh, that looks like something I can tell you what it's all about. Okay. Yeah. Barbara?
So can you make a sticker on your phone, on your iPhone?
Yeah, what I showed you was on the phone. That's the only place. I have not made a
So
sticker on the,
I think I did that,
you can't make
but
it on the computer that I know of.
so I found a picture of my dog, and it had the glowy stuff around it, and then and it said sticker yes, okay, but now I don't see where the stickers are.
So go and try to send a message. And then when you go to your emojis, one of the choices will be go to your stickers. Like when you send a little smiley face or something like that, go to your emojis. You can do it in an email or in a text, but go ahead and send a text.
No recent stickers. Hmm.
And there it shows when you go press, when you go on the left side, when there's a plus
Yeah,
sign,
yeah,
you can see camera, photos, stickers, audio, etc. So the
yeah.
stickers
It
is
said no current stickers.
okay. So then try that again. Maybe you didn't hear. Let me, yeah. So another way to do it is to do it from the sticker app. I don't want to spend too much time on the sticker app, but let me see. It probably just didn't get saved, but let me see if I can share. Whenever I share from this phone, here, I'm going to share from that phone. I need to stop this one. Okay, so now I'm going to actually share my phone itself instead of like on the screen. I'm actually sharing the phone. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's my phone now being shared. Okay,
Mhm.
let me go to a photo that's here, maybe this peacock. Oh, and back out, peacock right there. So let's see if that is recognizable. So I'll pull up a little bit and see, yeah, seeing that little line around it, right? So I'm
Mhm.
gonna select it, go to lookup, add sticker, and then over here, you need to see it pop in, and that's it. It just pops in. So if it didn't do it, it's not something that you can fix. You know what I mean? There's nothing much more to it.
Mhm.
I can delete it if I want. But you can also add one from here. So from the stickers app, so say that you go to your texts and you want to send a new text. Let me send a text to this person again. I can also go over here to the plus sign, stickers. Oh, the sticker I want isn't there. So I can go ahead and make it. It had oh, my other phone had a plus sign. Oh, how funny. My other phone had a plus sign where I could from here make it, but this is an old iPhone 10. So from here, I can't make it. I have to make it from the phone app. On my other one here, there's a plus sign that I can take, and it took me to a photo and then it made me a sticker. So I guess from here, from an old phone, you can't, but in a new phone, you can. But you can always just do it from the photos. So try it one more time. Just make sure it's a photo once again, like this, I don't think it'll offer me any of this. See, it's not turning on that little thing because it can't figure out what's the point of this photo. So it has to be something that it can. I'm going to pull it up and there it is. It's doing that whole, oh, it missed. See, it can't fix it. It's stopping here and it's not giving me the top. But what it's getting is the only thing I'm going to get because I can't tell it, oh, go ahead and catch the other part of it. See what I mean? But anyway, when I click on it, it just gave me the option.
I did it.
The sticker. You did it? Okay, cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I need to stop my phone again so that I can now have it down here again. All right, this phone mirroring thing is kind of working. That's pretty cool. All right, so anything you guys want to ask about all the metadata and where you see it? And yes, some things can be done on the computer that can't be done on the phone, and some things can be done on the phone that can't be done on the computer. So I just showed you two things that could only be done in one or the other. The stickers only on the phone, the metadata, extra metadata only on the computer. What I do not know, for those of you who have an iPad, can you tell me whether the iPad can make stickers? I don't know. My iPad is so old, I highly doubt it can make stickers, but right now my Photos app on it isn't working. I should restart my iPad. But it's ancient. And yes, that reminds me that I should ask for an iPad because I need let me see.
I made a sticker. Put emoji.
Okay. All right. Share my screen again. Okay. So these are just little details about the metadata that's going to start mattering when we start organizing our photos and things to know what all these little icons and what they are and stuff like that, which is why I was showing you how to turn them on. Hasn't changed your photos in any way. It just makes things easier for us to see what they are in order to organize them. That's all. So I'm going to, oh, I guess I'm not sharing. Yes, Unhee?
Do I have to app the Zoom app? Because I'm trying to my screen change, but I figured out my iPad is not update up there. So during the class time, I make a app, Zoom app, and then do I have to Zoom app? Because without app, I could take this class. So what do you think?
You can't take the class without a Zoom?
Yeah, without it. Yeah.
But you have an iPad.
Yeah. I mean iPad. Yeah.
So I don't understand why.
Oh yeah. So do I need a Zoom app?
June, like the month June, or what are
No,
you?
no, Zoom. This one. Zoom. Zoom app.
Zoom.
Yeah. App.
Oh, on the iPad? Yeah, I mean, if
iPad.
you
Yeah.
be able to share your iPad, this is fine. It's working. Whenever you need to share, you've shared a few times. I think you're sharing your iPad with me. So it's on Zoom.
Oh yeah, but without take a app, yes, using this class, and then do I have to keep this app or Zoom app, or remove it?
No, you can keep the Zoom app on your phone to
Or the iPad,
or
yeah.
on your iPad. Once it's there unless you remove it.
Okay.
It's
Thanks.
tools
understand.
on your
Yeah.
computer now.
But I cannot change the background, so it's okay.
On the Zoom, you can't change your background?
Yeah, iPad. No, iPhone is the
So
screen is
if you're
directly, yeah.
okay, so let me
But
just, if you're talking about how to use your iPad, I have a class
no,
coming up
no,
next.
but I figured out my
Okay.
iPad is not update OS, but not enough so
Let
that
me
they
show you
can't.
guys really rather quickly that I
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
it's not here, but let me see in my history. I just went, here, maybe I have it. I just went in the other class and I thought I'd still have it here, but I don't. I guess I closed it up. But there's you can register for as of today, you can register for the fall classes. And I'm going to show you really quickly. I guess I hadn't saved it. Fall, non-credit, select, and then you go to me, Musakyo, and you say search. And over here, I have all of these different classes, and I have a class called Introduction to Handheld Devices that's going to happen in December next year. And we're going to talk a lot about all these different devices, and I can just focus a bit more on the device itself and how to get your wallpaper and all that stuff right now, just teaching you the photos portion of it, okay? So if anyone's interested in this class, consider taking it, but I can tell you more about it. Email me, okay? But yeah, registration is open for the fall classes, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let me reshare my photos. And then you guys can ask me more about other things that you need, but for the most part, when it's a little bit close to what I'm teaching, I will answer it, but when it's becomes more about other stuff, there's other classes that I teach that in. Okay, so here we go. Harry, are you still here? You said, can you show me how to do a sticker? Did you manage to make a sticker yet? I'm seeing that you wrote that as a question.
Not yet.
Okay, so at this point, it's just a matter of finding a photo that has an easy icon and then pushing up to see the metadata. And if you see a line going around it, then that's going to work. If not, choose another photo, right? And again, it has to be a photo that the computer can easily isolate the element. If it's at all confusing like this one, maybe it'll get the person. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it's making a circle on the person, although of course that person, by the way, is my son who just graduated from Berkeley. And that's his graduation photo because he's not traditional and is not about to do a regular photo for mom and dad. But that was his concession. But if I try to do this one, well, maybe it chooses a window. I don't know. So choose something that's very easy to isolate. And then if you see that they're here, if you see when you pull up that a line surrounds it, then just touch that. Simply one finger touch, and it would say add sticker. Now the sticker here is going to include that blue part of the sky. So it's not perfect, right? It's going to have that sky. I know. Oh, look. It actually figured out not to put it in. It circled that, but it didn't put it. So now you have that as a sticker. Okay. Other than showing it to you this way, I don't know what else to show. You got to choose the right photo, a photo that has something very obvious. Pull it up. If you see a line going on, select it with one finger, add sticker. Okay. So there you go. Now, I got it. You said, okay, perfect. All right. So let me keep going with a few other things. Most importantly, what's the whole point of all this metadata that now we can see? I'm showing you things that as we begin then to go down all of the whole point. Okay, let me back up. Why am I showing you all these things? Turning these features on and showing these things, because one of the main things that I'm going to be teaching you how to do is how to go through all your tens of thousands of photos and be able to find what you want, either because you organized it by hand or because the computer helps you based on a lot of its metadata and artificial intelligence to find what you need. Okay. So to know, for example, that if you want to find a photo by location, you're going to be able to find it if it has a little location tag. But if it doesn't have a location tag like this one, no matter how much you search for it, unless you know where it is, if you put it in a particular place, when I mean by location tag, it doesn't have this little location tag that this one does. See that? If this doesn't have a location tag, and if you don't look at here and see a assigned location, then you're basically not going to be able to find it, for example, by looking at your maps. which used to be called Places Maps. So if I click on my maps right now, any photo that has a location tag, I can find somewhere in this map by location. So say that I'm finding all my photos that I'm looking for all the photos that I took when I was in my Southwest trip, and say that when I was in Taos, then I click on the map and boom, out of all my photos, and I've been there a few times. I have photos from this trip, and well, I guess these are all from the 2023 trip, but I have other photos of other places that I've gone a few times. So say right now, if I go to photos from New York, for example, I believe, I click on photos from New York. Well, I have photos from New York from 2021, photos from New York for 2022. And this is when it has no year, June 7th, that means it's now from 2025. So I have 3 different years of photos here that just found because they were taken in New York. Does that make sense? So beginning to understand why, how about this other photo from New York? Well, maybe it didn't have a location tag on it, thus the map can't find it. So then if you know it's a photo from New York, you go and add a tag to it so that it appears in New York. Does that make sense? So when I want to get a bit closer, I discover that one was actually New York and one was actually Long Island, and in what part of New York was I, et cetera, right? So as you get closer and closer, one was Statue of Liberty, one was Lower Manhattan, one was up there, and then one is still over there. But they all add up to basically 19 photos from the New York area. Does that make sense, you guys? So if I want to follow my travels, this is a really cool feature. And in fact, if I go down here, that's that photo that I said was in Buenos Aires. It turns out I have 7 photos from Buenos Aires. When I click on them, there we go. These are all the photos that I have that are tagged from Buenos Aires. Okay. How about I just did my trip in this summer, and I have 222 photos in Spain, 100, you know, Madrid area, Barcelona area, London, I just put that one in there. When I started approaching Spain, it turns out that they weren't all Madrid. They're all over the place because I went to many different places, and I was down south, west, north, east. So I can follow my trip. I was in Portugal, so I can be like, oh, this is pretty cool. I can see all the places that I visited as long as I have a photo from that place. Here I just put a few um little samplings. Okay, I guess I actually have some in France that I didn't put in there. And as I keep approaching, I go, oh, that's the one from Miranda del Ebro. Oh, that's the one from Logroño. Oh, look, there's the Bilbao Guggenheim. And I'm only doing that because I'm looking at the maps. Why? Because my phone had the location services turned on when I took these photos. So now I get to see them. And when I leave further away, it just shows me 336 somewhere there in Spain. Okay, pretty cool little feature. Yeah. Share, give me a yes if you were able to go to your maps. And as you approach, see photos from different places of your trips. Or just go to Santa Barbara and see if you zoom near enough, you'll see that instead of, 200 photos from Santa Barbara, you'll find that some are from Goleta, some are from the beach, some are from the east side, some are from Montecito. Wherever you've been taking your pictures, you can pinpoint them. Look, this is a photo taken at the Wake Center. And in fact, remember someone at the beginning had no power? This is Molly. And when I click on this photo here, turns out that Molly was at the Wake Center in room 3, which is the room that I teach in. And here's the map of the Wake Center whenever I teach in person. That's room 3. So I can go all the way down to finding exactly what part of the classroom in room 3 she was in when that photo was taken. Pretty cool. Give me a yes if you didn't see that. I'm going to meanwhile show you on the phone how we can do that same thing. So I'm going to scroll down And this is recent days. These are albums that have been created, peoples and pets, pinned collections. And then under pinned collections is favorites and recently saved and map, which over here you can see that favorites, map, recently saved, recently deleted. This is all under pinned collections. So now I'm going to click on maps from there. I believe it might also be in utilities. No, there it is under pinned collections. I'm going to click on maps right here and same exact feature. Okay, same exact feature, but on my phone, where I'll go and it says 457 photos on the West Coast, 59 on the East Coast. But as I begin to approach, it begins to discover. So this one was somewhere in Oregon. Whoops. Missed my phone. Was interrupted. Connecting again. This is an iPhone 10. So here we go. Oregon, when I select this and I actually want to go see them, and I'm noticing that on the phone, I can't seem to go down to the actual photo. Here it is. And so it's showing me the places. It's what it used to be called. It didn't used to be called maps. Now it used to be called places. And here's the 4 photos taken in that wonderful one lake. Pretty cool. And if I actually select that photo and pull up, it'll tell me exactly it's a sacred lotus, okay? And it'll tell me it was in Cleewalk Slate, which is a gorgeous lake. And I took some amazing photos August, a few summers ago. All right. If this worked for you, if it both on the phone and on the computer, then let me clear your answers. Even if you answered before, now I'm looking. Give me a yes. If you have any questions about these location tags and how to use the maps and the place maps to find the photos, if there's any questions about any of that, let me know. Okay, Barbara, I'm seeing a no. So what's up?
So I see some pictures on a map. Okay, they're not pictures I took. So somebody else probably had location on or something, but how do none of my pictures obviously have location or
That's your phone that you must have locations turned off on your phone. So
this
if
was from the computer.
yeah, but the computer doesn't show you the phone, the location. It's the phone that when the photo gets taken, if your phone, you've set up serve protection so that the location services isn't turned on, then the phone doesn't record where that photo was taken. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
so the computer doesn't do this. It's just
It's the moment the photo was taken, your camera records the visuals of the Statue of Liberty and it records the GPS coordinate, the coordinates. Okay. Now, if you have said, no, 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 do not follow me around, camera, please don't do that, then it won't. So I'm going to show you now on the phone. Go to your system settings on your phone. Okay. On your system settings on your phone.
okay.
You're going to go down, down, down to privacy and security,
Okay.
and then location services,
Okay.
and then your camera needs to have location services turned on. I have it while using the app, like when the camera's on, it follows me. If you have it on never or something like that, and I have precise location turned on, so it's really precise. Remember room 3 at the Wake Center. If this is off, then it
So
gives you a general idea.
the camera and maps or
No,
no?
no, the camera. If the camera records the location, then Maps will be able to find it. This Maps is an app called Maps that is not the app inside of the Photos app. This is your Maps, like
Okay.
the one that you click on when you want to know how to get from place to place, which again, if you want to be able to use it to tell you where to go, then it needs to be on. I have it always as while using the app on the ones that I've chosen to have. So that's where you would
Okay, yeah, it was turned off.
Yeah.
So none of my pictures are gonna have that.
None of your pictures have location services turned on. And by the way, eons ago, when there was all this like, oh, we're worried about privacy. I mean, if you're someone who's very worried about privacy, like if you're a star and you don't want people to know where you are, maybe you should have all your location services turned off and find some other way. But other than that, I mean, you know, it's not going to hurt anyone to know where I took that picture of the flowers in Oregon. So yeah, I don't see the point of hiding the location services from the camera because it's pretty cool to go back to my history now and to be able to find photos based on where it was taken. But that's information that comes with the camera. The only thing you can do right now is add it. Like go to your library and by the way, you don't need to do it photo by photo. So say that you have from this photo to this photo, all of these were taken in, you know, when you were visiting your sister in Chicago, you can select all these photos at the same time, not change one at a time and say Chicago. You can select this one, hold down the shift key, select the last one. All of them get selected. Then you go up to view, to image, adjust date and time, and then you say, these are all from Chicago. Or you turn on the info and for all of these, everything that's selected, you tell them Chicago, and then they will all say Chicago. I don't want to change them all because these are all places that have location services, but
Okay.
you can do many at a time. Okay. Like
Okay.
these two, for example, these three, 1, 2, 3 are from Buenos-Aires. This one, and that one. But see how they don't have a location turned on? And that tends to happen. Look at the names of these photos, guys. Watch. This photo, look at the file name. That means it was texted to me. The one I did it up versus this one that has a normal number, this was a text. This was a text or WhatsApp or something like that. So these three, they don't have location information depending on how you choose to text or not. So I'm going to set them all and I'm going to say Buenos Aires because again, that's where you need to choose the one. And so now these three will be added to the 7 of Buenos Aires. Now I have 3 more that I've just added at the same time, but I could have added 100 or 500, right? At a time. Just select, click, shift, and select. And I could just say all of these are Buenos Aires, for example. Okay. And that's part of the stuff that we'll be doing. We're going to be doing that, but not with location, but with like events and stuff. We're going to be adding keywords and things to help us find all the stuff. But location is a big one. Yeah. Okay. So you can go back to things that really matter, start from now backwards and go, oh, select, 400 photos. This was my trip to Europe. Then you select the subset of those 400 and go, oh, this was in France. This was in Spain. Normally, we don't need to do that anymore because the camera does it. But for things that don't have it or from photos that are older than from when that used to happen, you can assign it yourself. All right. That should be done on the computer because on the phone, that's one of the negatives, you can't select 20 photos at a time to change the metadata. You can only do it 1 photo at a time. So that's one example of when the computer becomes way more advantageous for organizing that. I was going to say, I look at my photos and everything on the phone, but when I do all my organizing, I do it on my computer because I can do much better. I can do batches. I can do a lot more work for organization on my computer than I can on my phone. All right, Mary Ellen?
Yes, where,
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to clear my answers. If everyone is able to select more than 1 photo, click on one, hold down your shift key, click on another one, and you see how you can do 3 photos or 10 photos. Then imagine if you were to go change their location, go try to adjust their location. On the Windows, you'll see now, I don't want you to erase original locations, but remember that you can also go back to the image and say adjust, go back to the original location. So say that you mess it up and you do a
Yeah.
location that's wrong, you can go and assign original location again. All right, it'll override what you write and then you can go back to having it. Everyone, please give me a yes or at least attempt to select more than one. Select one, hold down your shift key and select more, okay? Because I do want to answer Mary Ellen's question, but I want to make sure that you all got that one down, like you know how to do that. All right. Yeah, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, I'm in privacy and security, and I don't see where to turn on location for pictures.
Okay, so privacy and security of your phone,
Right.
because let's go to privacy and security, location services, and then it's the camera, not the phone, it's the camera app. Okay, and then you choose which apps you want to be able to follow you around. And some you do once, some never, some, you know, this is the kind of stuff I teach in my Mac classes, but since it's part of the Photos app, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. I just went and walked you through it, but I didn't share my screen. Sorry, you should have told me. Okay, did you find it though?
I found it.
Okay, well, good at following directions then. Great. I thought
Thank you.
I was showing it to you, but clearly there was no need. You got it. Everyone else, did you find your location services? Were you able to select more than one? Carol's the only one who said yes. Anyone else was able to select more than one? Because I'm going to show you a different way of selecting now. So Mary, Vera, Barbara. All right, cool. So, now let me share that screen that I wasn't sharing before. Here we go again. Okay. So this is where I was showing the privacy and security apps. There's other things that have location services and stuff like that. And if you were to, you know, but it's just that right now what mattered is just the camera itself. When you take the picture is the one that has to have it recorded. All right. Okay. So now here we are. What if you don't want to go to maps? What if you want to find the photos of, let's say, Logroño, and I'm just saying the name of a city that I just saw showed up there in one of the photos in Spain. I'm going to go over to the search feature right there, and I'm going to write Logroño, and there it is. It popped in, and here's my 4 photos. So you don't have to go all the way to the big map and look close in and whatever. If you know the name of the city that you're looking for, then you can type it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and say Cleowax, and there's Cleowax Lake, and there it is. Those are all photos from Cleowax Lake. Does that make sense? But if you don't know and don't remember the name of the little spot that you were in, like I didn't remember the name of that lake, but I just saw it because I was showing you that photo. So I was able to find it, right? If not, I do remember it was in Oregon, so I can just zoom into Oregon and find it that way. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and put in the search box of the Apple phone, not the whole computer. That little search feature is very, very powerful. And if you remember a photo taken on a certain date, so let me see, when was this photo taken? Let me get the info. May 19th, 2021. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write May 19th. And turns out that for May 19th, looks like I happen to have had a lot of photos in May 19th. But of all those, if I write 2021, then only these photos appear for May 19th, 2021. Does that make sense? And yes, is one of those the one that I had looked at? Yep, it is. Pretty cool. So if you remember the date, or if, and now let's clear it out by clicking on this. If you remember the exact date, if you remember the exact place, you can just do a search. But the rest of the features that we're going to be learning here are about, well, if I don't remember the exact place, if I don't remember the exact date, I remember the year, how do I find my stuff? Okay. Yeah, Barbara, you're
Just wanted
muted.
to say that I did add a location on a group from my iPhone.
Oh, how did you do that?
I don't know, I'm trying to figure that out.
Um,
But I, am doing this select
Oh,
trying to
well,
do
okay,
it.
okay, you're right. Okay, so here, I forgot that you could do that from this main place. Okay, so say that, let me go over here. So I know that these don't have location. Okay, so say that I select, so you go over here to the select button, right? And then I select maybe these 10, right? And I can select one at a time, or I can just kind of drag my, I can do it with my finger. I don't seem to be able to do it across. So I've selected all of these different ones, right? Then I go to these 3 little dots. Duh, I had forgotten. Click on that. And what do you want to do it? One of them is adjust date and time, and one of them is adjust location. Okay, so I'm going to adjust location for these. It has new location, and I'm going to enter new location. And I'm going to say these were taken at the, I don't know, the Santa Barbara Pier, for example. Pier. There it is, Stearns Wharf. I didn't remember the name. So now all of these will have a location, and I did it all at once. So thanks for reminding me of that. I don't know why I said you couldn't do it in a batch. I wasn't. I was thinking when you're seeing it and you're doing that, it's one at a time. But yeah, anything you want to went to a whole group, you go to select and you then choose that group. And then you go to these 3 dots, just location, adjust time. We're going to learn what all of these things are, copy, favorite, but I can actually favorite a bunch at a time. I can do a bunch of different things. And then when I'm done, I want to cancel out of there, not to keep myself, per chance, I don't want to delete anything by mistake. I'm going to cancel out of that selection and back out. Okay. So if everyone was able to select multiple photos on the phone, give me a yes. Let me show you, meanwhile, how to select multiple photos that are not together on the computer. So say that I wanted this one and that one, but not everything between. If I click and hold shift and click, then by default, everything in between is becoming selected. Well, what if I didn't want everything in between? What if I only wanted this one and that one? So if I click on this one and then that one, the first one disappears. See, the selection stays only on one. So I need to hold down the Command key, and then I can choose that one and this one and this one. So now I am not having to select everything. I can hold down the Command key and select that, that, and that. So now I have these 4 that are in 4 different locations. Does that make sense, you guys?
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. So then I can go ahead and adjust date and time, or I can go to the info and I can give them all a key, whatever it is that I'm trying to do with them. All right. Now this one is telling me that these have locations and that they're in multiple locations. And in fact, it's showing me little tiny map with, they're all over the country. Okay. And I'm just gonna ignore that right now because I'm not gonna change them. But that's what you can do in the batch. So these are all not so different because they're all from the same time frame. Let me go grab that one. And then I'm gonna grab hold on, Command key, and I grab that one. And basically it's showing me that my group of 2, one is in Europe and one is in United States, okay? Because I selected 2 from very different places. If I were to go find one on top of that from Argentina, which I know at the very beginning I had one, which is this one, then now it's showing me the map has something in Europe, something in Argentina, and so and this is because I hit the Command key, okay? And so I'm selecting 3 things from all over the place, okay? To get rid of any selection that I don't want anymore, you just click on any neutral white space and boom, the selections disappear. All right? So all of this is in preparation for, oh, and one more way to select multiple things, but this is good for things. So say that I want these 2 together. I can either do the select, shift, select, but if I do more than 2, then everything in between, right? So what if I wanted these 3, but then I wanted these 2? So now I hold Command to select that one, Then I can do shift again for those. Then I go to command for this one, and then I do shift for those three. So you can kind of use command and shift all together. So once again, click, shift, click, gets anything that's in between. But now I want to add that one. So it's command to add that one without everything in between. Okay? So this matters because as we organize stuff, you're not going to be organizing photo by photo. No one does that. You're going to do big batches. And so you're going to say all of these, and watch what I'm doing now. I just grabbed a whole bunch without doing click shift or anything. I'm going to say all of these are from my summer vacation. And so what I did is I put my mouse in the white area, not on a photo itself, but in the white area, and I clicked and dragged, and I'm casting like this little net on all these photos at the same time, which might be faster than click, shift, click, but it does cast it on all of them. So say that I'm seeing this kind of small, I could easily select all of these at the same time with one big click and drag. Click and drag down, and it has to start in the empty white space. And then I can select, whatever, 79 items is what I just selected. That's pretty quick, isn't it? And that I went down to get more. I made this bigger or smaller so I could get more at a time. But I can also have them bigger and select just these two at a time. So from the air, from nothingness, I click and drag, and whatever falls inside that little net gets selected. So I don't have to select everything in between, but anything that falls in the net will get selected. If I wanted to do these, but not those two, I could take them off by holding down the command and re-clicking on them. So now they're gone, and now I have those four. So anyway, it's all about using my mouse to select so that I can then say, well, all of these are from the fire that we had that we could see, and then these two, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? If all of these multiple ways of selecting work for you, say yes, but this one, I don't need every single one to work. I need at least shift and command, the two basic ones. Shift everything that's in a row, because typically we have an event where everything is from the birthday. They're all next to each other, so you do a big old click, shift, click. The whole birthday party gets labeled my granddaughter's birthday. And command where you just want to choose the 5 best ones of your granddaughter's birthday. So you select 5 instead of 25 and you save only those. That's the command. Okay. So I'm going to clear your feedback. I know, Mary Ellen, you raised your hand. I'm going to call on you now. Everyone else give me a yes if everything I've been showing you about selection. It's going to be really important. And I hope people who've been leaving early know this, because as we start organizing next week, we're going to want to really see and understand how to select photos to organize them. So on the phone, you hit the select key, select as many as you want, and then on the computer, you select by holding the shift or the command key, or you cast a little net, so to say, to catch whichever is inside. All right, Mary Ellen, you had a question?
You just answered it.
Oh.
The select key.
On the phone? Yeah, you click on the select.
If I've selected the ones that I want to put a location on, they're now all checked. How do I get to the metadata for all of them?
Okay, so now you go over here to this little 3 dot and you adjust location from there to all of them at the same time.
Thank you.
So the 3 little dots, and anything you saw it in Zoom, you see it everywhere. 3 little dots in a circle means there's more under here. There's more. Click me, more, more. And so you click on that, and depending on what's supposed to be, it's there. It's more. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you gave them the wrong location, you can just revert them to original. And then, but if you've never changed it, then there's no revert to original. Things are very contextual. So if I've never changed the location of this one, right? And now the 3 dots are up there, then it doesn't say revert to original because I never changed the location, never changed anything. So then there's no revert to original. But if I have changed its location, then I can revert to original. So it only say revert to original if it's not the original location or time anymore. Then the choice for revert to original appears. Okay. Yes, Barbara.
Okay, so if you make the locations and all that, you make groups and stuff in, say, the computer, will that go into the cloud and then make those changes to the phone?
Oh, yeah. Just like the favorites worked and I changed it. Here I made this one a favorite, it appeared on the phone. Same with locations, yeah. So if I go over here to the beginning of my photos and I look at the location of this one, and I adjust, it probably says already that it's in Paris or something, yeah. And I changed that on my computer, but see how now it's saying that my keyboard is in Paris? So yeah, all these things stick in the cloud and stick. But again, you need to have the be in the cloud. If you do all this work and you don't have your material in the cloud, when you do transfer it, you need, I mean, depending on how you do the import, it will keep that information or not. So you need to be careful. But when you need to do it through the import, I'll show you guys, so that it imports all of the metadata as well. But yeah, for those of you who are using the cloud, it's all transparent. When you do it in one, it happens in the other. It's going to be in the cloud and it's going to be in both your devices. Yeah, thanks for that question. Okay. All right. So we're 3 minutes from the end of the class. Instead of starting with something new, how about any questions that you guys might have right now in general? There's so few of you guys because people had to leave that I want to make sure that I don't do anything new and then have to repeat it to everyone. So is anything you guys want to know? One of you guys had asked me something that was Mary Ellen that wasn't part of the Photos app. This is a good time. I've got 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's something that we went over in the Mac class. I had gone ahead and put to sync my calendar with the phone and my Mac or in the iCloud, and the calendar entries don't show in the iCloud setting. It says iCloud calendar, and the calendar that shows on my Mac is a Gmail calendar. So how do I get my calendar that has my entries into the cloud?
All right. So first of all, which one is the correct one? The phone or the Google, or are both and you're using two of them?
The phone is what's correct.
Okay.
But the things on the phone show up in my calendar on my Mac.
They do or they don't.
They do.
So you do want that.
Yeah.
So then if what's on your phone is showing up on your Mac, what you want is to not see the Google?
No, I want what's on my phone to show up in the iCloud.
Oh. It does. Okay. So it is showing up now in your phone and on your Mac. You also want to see it on the iCloud.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me share my screen. If they're already transferring from your computer to your phone, then that means that they're on the iCloud. So let me show you. Let me go back to iCloud.com. And here's your calendar. And whatever you have on your phone should be showing up here. The thing is that the Google Mail appointments won't be showing up here because they don't go through the cloud. You can see the Google Mail stuff, calendar, not Google Mail, Google appointments. If your Google Calendar, if you see it, you can see it on your phone and on your computer in the app. That's fine, but not in the cloud because the cloud only takes things that are part of the cloud, and Gmail is not from the cloud. So did that work? Did you go to iCloud.com and click on the calendar?
Um,
Want to share your screen? Normally, people are saying it's not, my phone is not going to my computer back and forth, but if it's going from your computer to your phone, then for sure it's on the cloud. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
But let's go find it. By the way, I need to make sure that everyone knows the class, and I know people have things to do, but it does go to 4:55 in case people thought maybe it ended it earlier because a lot of people left. Okay, so there's your photos. Okay, scroll down now.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Here's my calendar.
Okay, click on it again to open it. Yeah. And it's not there.
It's not showing any entries.
Okay, then go show me your calendar. Leave this open and then go down to your computer calendar and show me your computer calendar. Maybe you think it's the iCloud, but maybe it's the Gmail that you're using. What address is this?
That is a Gmail address.
So these are all Gmail appointments and they're not going to show up in the cloud. You're
Okay.
creating them. Now, if you were to change it and switch it to that's a Yahoo calendar, that's a Gmail calendar, that SBCC calendar, and you don't see them in your iCloud calendar, you might not have anything in it. So let me show you. Click on this iLife here. Just select it. Okay, and then go to this color. And switch it to be in your, that's your Yahoo, so you don't want it there nor in your Google. Go ahead and your iCloud. Put it under home or work or something like that. You can create your own. So that's your iCloud. Yeah. Now let's go to the cloud, and it might not be that fast, but let's go to the cloud. Down here in the dot, you can go to Safari or, yeah, and so go to today, go to the 8th, and let me take all these pink things off. Double click. Yeah, you might want to see by week where you can see a little bit better. No, we don't want to put something new, say cancel to that. Just click here to see by week for a second. And that's the one that you just created. Give it a second like we do to the phone. And in a little bit, you'll see pop up today's class because you switched it to being on the iCloud calendar. Does that make sense? Let's go back to the calendar. And you thought you were putting them, but you've been, in fact, if you go to, the color will tell you like, make it work instead. Go ahead and go over here and make it work. Click on here. No. Sorry. Go to your event, the Living the iLife here, and let's say that it's work. So click on that little color there. And I'm just saying to show you that you can make it a different color. So now you'll see everything that has that little tiny, like that one is already, you already made it in the iCloud. I can see from the color, but these that are that pale kind of greenish, you can see from the color here that it's kind of greenish. They've all been made in a different calendar. So you've probably been creating appointments that are in different calendars all along, and that's why you don't see them on the cloud. Now, if on your phone, you also turn on the features to see the iCloud and the pipeline and all that, then you're seeing them on your phone. You're seeing them here because both of them are set to see everything, which is correct, except for the cloud. The cloud only shows iCloud stuff. So in the cloud, you can't see any of this unless you shift them to the iCloud calendar. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a thing about the cloud. Go back to the cloud for a second. Go back down here to Safari. And let's go back here to the whole cloud main page. Yeah, delete that one. Go over here to this arrow and back out. And go down for a second. Your main account there is the Yahoo. You might go scroll down. I'm trying to get you to scroll down for a little bit. And anything that's here in the mail will only show up in the cloud if it's your iCloud mail, if you use an iCloud mail address. So if you double click on mail, you might not see any mail in there either because unless you use an iCloud.com, see, you're not using an email given to you by iCloud, which you can create it. It's all free. You can have a dot, like a dot me, sorry, it's going to be like maryellen dot at icloud.com. It's going to be your email address. Those emails you would see in the cloud. But in here, if you want to see your other emails in the cloud, you have to go to gmail.com, yahoo.com, because iCloud doesn't collect from other apps. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the same with the calendar appointments. On the iCloud only, your phones, we set them up in class so that you can see all your accounts, but that's your phone and your computer. But the iCloud is like, I am just iCloud.
Okay.
I'm not going to show you what's in other companies' stuff. So iCloud.com wouldn't be the place for you to live out of. It's just the place that holds all your iCloud stuff. That's it. But it wouldn't be the place to go and handle all your emails. You would have to go to iCloud.com, yahoo.com, and gmail.com to handle all your emails. Same with your appointments. If you go to yahoo.com, you probably have some of your appointments in Yahoo. If you go to Gmail in the calendar, you'll have other appointments in there, your pipeline, and now one at least that you've switched to the iCloud will appear in the cloud. On your phone, they all look all the same, but you've made them in different accounts.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. And you can do a selection of many of them and shift them and do like that, but otherwise right now, that's not doable. Okay. All
Thank
right, guys, gotta go. See you guys. If you're only in this class, I'll see you in a week. But
Okay.
you, Harry, I'll see you later. Others of you guys, I'll see you the rest of the week.